sophisticated, relaxing, kind of invigorating. Everybody doesn't appreciate it like the connoisseurs do.
Holy shit, 20 gifted subs.
Good job, King.
Ugh. Thanks, DJ Busta, for the 20 gifters. Sunshine and Black, thanks for the 35 months. Almost a year. Appreciate it. TYVM. I'm going to go on Patrick Walkman real quick. And then let's talk about Dragonfall. Yo, how you guys doing this fine evening? Oh man, we got some Dragonfall to talk about. 2K tournament, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Prime destination spot for apparently just the Grand Geneva Hotel and golf course or whatever, where 27 people get married every single weekend. Birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons, Gary Gygax's locale. Lake Geneva, hence Gen Con, right? That's where that thing started. Always a good time. Run by HeyWoah and Yardwork, Truly Peak. Hey, please enjoy. Paint contest winner here. Oh yeah, I got a picture, as always, of, as far as I can tell, every army. And we'll be going through them as I tell stories. Because I think it's important, as a side note, I think it's important to show what real people in real life's armies look like. Everybody's experience generally with what people's armies look like is, you know, YouTube, Vince Venturella, right? Instagram stuff, Discord people posting, and the people who post their stuff in Discord kind of know that it's the hot shit, right? Not everyone's a Sergio out there, even though sometimes it might seem like it. But I show everybody's stuff because this is reality, right? Like I'm like a passably okay painter at very best, you know? And that's just the norm. Everybody, no highlights, not very good at blending, decent color choices maybe, right? Just unfinished mistakes all over the place. That is where everyone lives. That's what an army looks like. It's vaguely cohesive because they chose a color scheme, and it looks completely fine from 4 feet away, standing and looking down at a table.
Sophisticated,
You know?
relaxing, kind of invigorating. Everybody doesn't appreciate it like we connoisseurs do.
Anyway, so we're getting a taste of reality here. Pestering Pickle thinks with a 25 tier 1 gifted subs. Massive, dude. Dude, I logged on. I have 45 subs. See ya. I'm out. I got my quota. Anyway, good show. All right, just kidding. Pestering Pickle, big TY for the huge support, and CJ Busta for the 20. Big gifter. Carlos Manaz. Definitely pronounced the last name wrong. Apologies. I was hoping, because I couldn't remember the name, because I'm bad with names, but I was hoping I would just put the thumbnail on YouTube and magically you would appear. And he did. He's the man from the thumbnail. You didn't realize who you were talking to. It was a pleasure to meet. Hey, it was a pleasure to meet you. Great jersey. Look at that. Isn't that perfect? Frost Lord 23, you know, with the Hornstein, right? It was perfect. I'm getting a picture of this guy for sure. And it's going in a thumbnail. I probably, in retrospect, should have asked your permission to post a real life photo of you on YouTube. Now that I'm just thinking about that now. But, in my defense, it's a dope looking picture, and so I don't think there would be a downside to it. Also, I believe you were awarded most kill points as well. And there are pictures taken for the awards. So if you were cool with that, then you're probably cool with this. It could have been anyone, right? I'm going to catch up on some chat before we talk stuff. It's all good, Your Honor. Yeah. Most kill points, and we'll talk about that one. Most kill points, Beastclaw. Easy. Absolutely easy. But remember, we have to keep pretending that Beastclaw sucks so we get more buffs, right? Gotta keep it on the down low. Luckily, this wasn't a tournament that gets added to the stats, so we're good there. No big deal. You were stoked to get your first AoS tournament at the Tampa Open, but it was canceled. Yeah, huge hurricane. Cat 5, I think, right? As of today. Anyway, I hope it works out down there. Are you sad about Commander? I will talk at length about Commander another time. People right now are here for AoS. Don't tempt me. I'll talk about Commander and Magic and shit for a long time. I'll probably make a video about it, to be perfectly honest, but that'll be for later. When it turns out that I have less to say about this tournament than I thought, maybe we'll get into it. But good question. Frostboat on boat horn. Yeah. You have this exact same 3D printed ruined statue. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to furnish a tournament with like 50 tables worth of terrain, you're going to try to do it on a budget. So we give the TOs as much latitude as they need. Role Models was in the AoS GT with you at Dragonfall. Oh, let's go. The Role Models. All right, nice. You'll have to stop me when I get to your army because I took pictures of everybody's. I hope. I even remembered this time for once because a few people told me. They're like, make sure to take a picture of your army because you always forget. And it's true, I do always forget, but not this time. Is there a part of today's plan to look at the new Warhammer community article today, or are you saving up for later in the week? I don't think I need to save up. Surely I don't have 4 hours of anecdotes for a 2-day tournament, right? Once this thing's petered out, we'll go on the community site and look at the stuff. There was a reveal that I missed Saturday. We'll check that reveal. Word on the street is I didn't miss much from that reveal. Besides the only time I ever get 400 viewers across YouTube and Twitch. What are you going to do? I guess we missed out on a shared, slightly disappointing experience. You'll keep pretending Beastclaw is trash until Stonehorn gets a award again. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. No Thunder Tusks? Question mark. No, I only own 3 Thunder Tusks. So I just couldn't find the room to put them in the list. I just couldn't find the room, you know. The list that I brought, as you can see right here, to the list I brought here to Dragonfall was not my I'm going to do well list. It's a 4th edition has granted me the unique opportunity to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time, which is play 5 Frostlords on Stonehorn. Unfortunately, in 4th edition, they kind of suck. Pure Beastclaw in a real sense, historically, is at its best when it's really hard to kill Frostlords. And if it's really easy to kill Frostlords, then the army kind of sucks. So unfortunately, they're at their weakest, but I wanted to do it because it's funny. And I happen to own 5, and probably nobody else does. And so I wanted to be funny and do the funny thing and see how many wins I could absolutely steal from better armies. And as it turns out, it did better than I thought it would, to be perfectly honest. You ran 60 Nurgle Chaos Warriors. You went 4-1. It was a fun Oh, I heard about you. I heard about the 60 Nurgle Chaos Warriors. You know, Age of Sigmar games could last 10 battle rounds. I don't think I could kill all of them. Absolutely oiled up. If you're going BCR, would you need anything from the Vanguard box? Is the Vanguard box the Spearhead, or am I thinking of something else? Or do you mean one of the discontinued boxes? I know that the Spearhead box features like 2 Mournfang, and that's it. So I wouldn't say that one. Yeah, the Ogre Spearhead box, I believe, has 2 Mournfang, and that's it. So probably not. I would advise against... Well, let me give you my whole thought, I suppose. It's hard to predict what GW is ever going to do. And even in retrospect, it's kind of tricky to puzzle out why they did what they did a lot of times, right? But it seems to me that we are the one army left with a shitload of Finecast in it. And all the Ogre models are pretty old besides. And so if there's somebody that's going to get a Skaven refresh, a Seraphon refresh, a Slaves to Darkness refresh kind of facelift, you know, chances are it's going to be us. Absolute hopium, right? I don't know anything. And so buying a whole bunch of Ogres like right now, you might get burned perhaps. I'm not sure. Also, Beastclaw kind of sucks right now. But if you don't give a shit about any of that, then hop right in. The water's great. Just got home from playing Necromunda. Saw a crazy game going on at the LGS. 60,000 point Horus Heresy. It looked amazing. Damn. I bet I could fly there and watch that game, because that's how long it'll probably take to finish it. It was oh, I have a picture of the, before I talk about my army here, where did I took a picture of the wizard, the man running the show here. Shout outs to TOs. Made his own custom designed dragon trophies. Dragonfall has a whole bunch of prizes and stuff. Most of them are for hobby, various hobby things, favorite army things. If people think you're cool, sportsman stuff, most kill points, things like that. And then they got like, yeah, you went 5-0, here's your trophy. And it's kind of like a minor thing. Dragonfall is always for charity. And it's always for some charity like, I don't know, cancer kids that also have mental problems and they don't have a school and they need a school, like all that kind of stuff, right? And so there's a big charity raffle. You can buy these tickets right here. And I think this year they raised, what was it, almost $4,000 for whatever the charity I just described is. Good work there. Mark Ramchek puts on a good show, even if he does work by hand all the time. But look, war wizards like to work by hand sometimes. So anyway, good work there. It was a smooth, clean event. Everything worked out pretty nice. How many attendees? I don't believe we hit 100 yet, but every year it's 20% higher than the previous year. Anybody in the chat have word on number of people that were in the tournament? That's a number I probably should have gotten. I don't know. I actually don't know. 60, 80. It wasn't 100 yet, but I think we're slowly creeping towards that one. So here's the army. I went with, I had to pull out some of the old stone horns before the customized ones, because my new Beastclaw list is kind of like a sampler platter. It includes a bunch of everything, right? But I wanted to do the meme, so I took some of the old ones as well. These are all Frost Lords on Stonehorn. It's no different types. They're all the fucking same. The one with the maw pot chained to its back is a priest. The one on the boat had the artifact where 0 times a game you can do a d6 mortal wounds, and the other two are just whatever. 5 drops. And then 2 of 2 Mournfang to do the capture the flanks thing, and if you put them there, chances are your opponent's 90-point capture the flanks guys. Mournfang aren't very good, but they can bully a 90-point capturing unit sometimes, or just be chaff if you need it. About 70. All right, sounds good. So who did I play against? Oh, and I met some people from the Discord. We had they flew out. CJ, Ubusta, and Jubes both flew out to really just cavort around the event hall, look at stuff, talk to people, and play a shitload of Commander. That was fun. Played Commander Friday until about 1 a.m. Played Commander Saturday until about 11 or something like that. Good time. Big dinner was all right. You know, the conversation was great, but Lake Geneva is not exactly the taste of Wisconsin. So, you know, it's got the yup. You know what I mean? where it's got like your average pubs and stuff, but it's not exactly like the best representation of Wisconsin food for the most part. But it was still fine. No big deal. Lots of Commander, the food was alright. Adepticon should be better. Milwaukee's a city that has a population, so that place has some better eats. Oh, about 76, it says, according to the website. Nice. Been tinkering with lists for your next army project. Possible option is Neferata. 8 Azkurgans, 30 Blood Knights in a 1-drop. Sounds delectable. I went the opposite direction with drops. I'm like, you know what? If you're 3, you're basically always going to be forced to go first anyway. So you might as well be 5 drops. So I went first every match except for the second to last one. I was given the second turn once by my opponent, which was great. You love to see it. But one of the things you have to do if you're going to play a high drop army is to really have a plan for that turn 1, because you're going to be given turn 1 basically every time for the most part. And so you really want to be able to do one of those battle tactics round 1 without putting yourself in a position to get just crushed because of it. Don't overextend into it, right? Anarian 04. Hey, thanks for the big prime for 6 months. Appreciate it. TYVM. The first round played against Slavs to Darkness, and a very well painted one as well. I played against this guy in 3rd edition, and I gotta say, it was a lot closer game in 3rd edition than it was in 4th edition. But these guys were looking great. As you can see, good guy Slaves to Darkness player, not playing Be'lakor. He had some self-respect for himself and his opponents, so not bad there. Appreciated it. A lot of Dark Oath over here for some chaff. Big dudes with big horses. Looking great, right? Lawless Dalen thinks a big prime. Yeah, he's very mindful. Now, do I think that playing Be'lakor is like rude or mean or cheesy or something? Not at all. If he happened to have Be'lakor in his list, what I would have said is, this Slaves to Darkness player is playing correctly. Yeah, Be'lakor is the best shit. You start a list with it, for sure. So don't misunderstand my playful ribbing. Doing non-trog gets and being an enjoyer of fun, you're also middle fingering the drop war. If your army can do it, then go ahead, yeah. It's the way to play as much candy as you like. Anyway, Loud Stalin thanks for the prime for 17 months. Anyway, this was a Slaves to Darkness. I think I took a picture. I did. Now, this is the thing that I still forgot to do almost every round, but like take pictures of the initial setup here, right? So he made his little castle. He's got the boys out front that are hard to kill right here. Sneaky little monster killer, foot hero. All the cav on this side. And I'm like, I'm going to get those flanks and be given first turn, and then I can collapse wherever. I'll give you a taste of how things went. So, this is right before that guy died. So what happened was, in a real Cliff Notes version of the story, a Frost Lord would enter combat with a Slaves to Darkness unit and not really do much and then die. And that basically happened every turn. I want to say battle round 3. I was out of guys and just the game was super over. I lost like 8 to 36 or something like that. All my guys were dead. One of the cool things that happened was he had his little foot hero guy. And his little foot hero guy attacked over some Chaos Warriors into a Frost Lord. And he did 15 damage and just killed it. I'm like, oh, the foot hero guy, huh? Just killed him. That guy's kind of nice. He's kind of nice with it. It was sick. His army was sweet. It looked cool. It was good. The cavalry was strong. He had a 3-man unit of Vanguard and a 5-man unit of Chaos Knights with the Hero Knight over there. And it was awesome. I would roll a bunch of 4s to attack and mostly miss all of them, and then he would pass some saves and just kill them. And that's kind of how the game went. But good opponent, good game, well played, and I got absolutely smoked. Next up, and then after that was the painting. We were judging painting, and so I walked around and took pictures of all sorts of people's armies. Got some Sons of Behemat with Kragnos, fresh off the 100 points cheaper Kragnos. Now, I didn't really like Kragnos in 4th edition. I thought he got crazy worse than he used to be in 3rd edition. He's no longer basically immune to spells. Instead of having a 2-up save, he has a 4-up save. Huge hit there. Now, he did get a 5-up ward instead of a 6-up ward. But his weapons degrade in power now, and they didn't used to. So, overall, Kragnos got, like, hella worse in 4th edition. But he got a little cheaper. And the most recent FAQ update to him, if you countercharge, you don't get his special, like, power, right? You don't get his 3d6 charge on the countercharge. And in exchange for that, they reduced his points by 100. And I don't think that's like a significant decrease in power too much. The fact that you can't, like, countercharge 12 on average. Like, whatever, to be honest. But making him go down 100, I think that opens him up for some of the armies that really need something like that. You played that guy in your last game of the GT, your first Slaves to Darkness army. Oh, nice. Role models. Was he the one loss, or was he the one of the wins for you? Slaves to Darkness mirror match against 60 of them. Does he lose that on paper? I'm kind of thinking now. Maybe he does. Anyway, Sons of Behemat. He brought these. It used to be that you could bring technically all of them, and before the game began, you'd choose one of them, one of the lores to get, but they FAQ'd that, which normally I don't like. Like, I think in general, the game should be moving towards a direction where you choose as many things at deployment as possible. I don't like choosing it on the list. I like choosing it after you've seen your opponent. I think that's a certain way to kind of have somewhat of a sideboard in the game. However, this particular one, I mostly agree with. I don't like to oblige a Suns player to bring an entire extra box of every single endless spell ever made to choose which one they're going to play in this particular game. I think that's a little too Sylvaneth-y, you know. You got the win against him, 48-26. All right. Yeah, I don't know if fair and square but really good slaves can deal with that kind of damage check, at least on paper. Is that Peter C? Let me move this up a little bit. There you go. Trying Kragnos in your Ironjaws list, hoping you can bring some juice. Dude, Kragnos is kind of nice at his point cost. I think I got another picture of this guy's when they're not in tins, so we'll move on from that. Bring in the rats. Also, special notice. Notice anything? Isle of Blood rat ogres. A connoisseur. I see. He's got new rat ogres and the Isle of Blood ones. Very nice. Very nice. I talked to this guy a little bit, and he said that these little Doom Flares were really pulling their weight. They were very nice for him during the tournament, which is nice to hear. This is a Warp Seer, of course, because, I don't know, all the big Skaven, like the giant Skaven guys, seem to be, as an outsider, way overcosted. But Warp Seer is the closest to being alright, because all of its abilities are good. I still think this one is pretty overpriced, but the rest of them are just kind of right out. Looking for some reductions on some of that stuff. Physics as well. I asked, is lightning cannon 2? Because all the Skaven players, I asked the main question that I wanted to hear from Skaven players. How long did it take for your lightning cannon to blow itself up? Because I'm collecting data. And this guy said 3, which was the highest number of shots I had heard in the entire event. The average is 2. I heard a 1. But this guy gets the trophy for having 3 entire shots with a lightning gun before it blew itself up. It blew itself up on the 3rd shot, that being said, which I always find funny. It's pretty cheap now. I think it went down. Isle of Blood, huh? Khorne player? Hey, I love that too, yeah. You still like Thankful? I would like his points to go down. I don't dislike him. I just look at Skaven and I'm like, man, your big rats are real expensive for some reason. Like how the life swarm for the Giants is a pink base. Let's go back to it. Yeah, it does. Look, you just had to get that on the table, right? We're trying to play over here. Oh, we got the boingy things. I remember this guy. He's got the funny boingy things for the display board and like rocks all over the place, the gemstones. If you look real close, these annihilators are dinosaurs. He is not finished painting, but that's fine. Play what you got. Don't mind that. Gotrek detected. More dinosaurs. Is that a... Hold up. Is that a Fire Slayer's beard helmet on the Stormcast? More dino heads. Alright. I would like to see this thing when it's finished painting. He's got some fun conversion ideas. What if Stormcast were all dinosaurs and 2 Fire Slayers? Hey, alright. You missed the old Eshin Vermin Lord with the Sword of Japan. Oh, yeah. Absolute blender. The Pestilence one was pretty good with Sword of Japan, too, because those Weeping Blades had like 10 attacks or something like that. Man. Realm artifacts were something else, weren't they? Dude, I loved realm artifacts. The Sword of Japan. Putting that thing on some random foot hero with 6 attacks that re-rolled. What is Sword of Japan? So, when you're attacking, I believe, a hero or a monster, it did, if I recall correctly, a d6 mortal wounds on 6s. And that wasn't natural 6s. That was... however you got to 6, that's what you got. And so you'd put him on, you would just find some weirdo unit in some army, like Tenebrial Shard or something like that, who can teleport Nothing Personnel Kid right to his, like, within 3 of some enemy hero, get a whole bunch of attacks. Putting it on something that could re-roll hits was also good, because then you just fish for 6s on it. That thing was sick. There were a bunch of other cool realm artifacts as well. Bring back realm rules. It's fun mechanically and narratively. It's like the only thing that defined this. Yeah, I liked... Okay. Everyone kind of complained about it because they didn't want to roll for the realm and they didn't want to have to look at the piece of paper and remember what was happening, but I think it was good. It was good to do that. You're thinking of the Thermal Rider Cape, Hulkbat, and I used that in Beastclaw for sure. +4 movement and flying on any hero. Jesus, so good. There was the Brooch that every time you used a command point, you rolled a die, and on a 5-up, you refunded that. There was the Ethereal Amulet. Any hero's ethereal, just straight up. Ignax's Scales was a 4-up ward against Mortal Wounds. That thing was hella sick. There were a few different versions of like Dimensional Blade and some other stuff that just set the rend value to 3 on some weapon, which would make some like mounted, like some 190 point mounted hero that just happened to have 5 attacks on his offhand sword. Suddenly it's got rend 3 now. Those things were sweet. Enough of them were cool enough that you could really do some fun things with them. 3-up Velocita. A 3-up ethereal 6-up 6-up Velocita. I think it was a 6-up 6-up. You could get it too. The Gakorkaja could go to a 5-up 6-up too, because back then if you had 2 wards they just stacked. You just rolled both of them. There were some things that are probably good to stay in the past during all of our nostalgia, right? But I kind of long for the days of tons of choices and tons of random cool shit. And then we got the absolute boys. Bunch of gluttons, bunch of lead belchers. Got the Gorjors, Butcher Slaughtermaster, the tag team champions of Guhur, a big old Iron Blaster, and Crag Morose, as well as a Purple Sun made entirely out of blood. All the endless spells he uses are either made out of blood or coming out of blood. There's a lot of blood magic in Ogres, so it's technically on theme. Yeah, the Gravetide's a wall of meat. This army looks fun, doesn't it? This looks pretty good. This is kind of an evolution of the concept of the mixed ogres. And by mixed ogres, I mean 1,600 points of gutbusters and a single Beastclaw monster. But why play a Beastclaw monster when you could play like a good monster? You just have to pay a few more points for it. Anyway, this one looks fun. You have one trick. Their ambush really is pretty interesting, I think, on these guys. I rather like them. I'm waffling whether to pick some up or not, and I might do it because I think they're... Maybe this defeats my own thoughts on it, but Gorgers are, I think, simply overpriced. Like 260 is just too much for them. Like, it feels bad to take them because they're that expensive. However, when I put them on the table, TTS, because I'm practicing with them, I really like them. They mostly do the job I tell them to do. You know, sometimes they blow the fuck up because they have no defense at all. But they really do shit when you put them on the table. And so maybe that defeats me saying they're too expensive, right? Maybe that just means that they're not too expensive. I think they are, though. But they really do. They add like one trick to an army that has 0 tricks at all. And that seems fun. You got run and charge, tons of bonus attacks, just humongo damage, one trick, and then big guy with humongo damage. And 2 of the best foot wizards in the game, I think. Maybe I'm overstating it because it's so surprising. But I think really, Butcher Slaughtermaster are 2 of the... Even though they're like ogres and normally you think wizards, you're like, oh, Tzeentch and Lumineth and stuff. But if we narrow it down to foot wizards, I think Butcher Slaughter, if you consider their price and what they do to the army, are some of the best in the game. Although, playing with a Mawpot, I think is like just wrong. I think the Pizza Pit is for sure the way to go, even if you're in Gutbusters. But I'm not the person who bought the army and painted it up and played it, so they probably know more than me. I really like the Pizza Pit. There's the plus side, they look better than Yetis, which cannot be overlooked. Oh, I can overlook Yetis real easy. It's hard not to. +1 power seems so strong, though. It's +1 power if you're within 3 inches of it, yeah. Which does kind of shackle you to it.
Good job, King.
At least it's not like within 1 inch like it used to be. And it's only one of them, it's not both like it used to be. And +1 cast is good, especially if you're trying to cast endless spells. So I'm not saying that the Mob Pot is bad. It's quite good. I just like the orbital triple laser that basically can't fail during each player's turn forever. I like that thing a lot. Disaster Planting is a tier 1 for 13 months. Lucky 13. A baker's year. How would be better if it gave priests +1 power? I don't know why it doesn't. Half of the army is priests, you know, you'd think you could give them something, right? It is kind of weird that both of the terrain features are only usable by wizards. And half of the army is wizards and the other half of the army is priests. It's weird that we have 2 terrain features and they're both for guts, but I've made that complaint before. Can't pray with your mouth full? Well, they're casting spells with their mouth full. Anyway, Slaughtermaster's sick. Very nice setup. Very nice look. Good work. Good army. Yeah, it doesn't need a hero to babysit the healing anymore, which is big. Because I didn't want to. Oh, we got an effulgent Zinch over here. Oh, man, it's a little out of focus. I was probably focusing on this thing or this thing. Apologies. I was trying to get everyone before it was too late. Whole bunch of Skyfires. Yo, that's a lot. It's got the big bird here, both heads. Apologies, person who has chips. But you don't see this scheme a lot. Look at this. Yellow submarine yellow. And then candy blue. With some purple here and there. And then a bunch of gray. These guys looked sick, actually. These guys here. They're custom. Alright, Balloon Boys. And the cracked Stormcastian bases. Shiny and steel. 6 Balloon Boys with the saws. Okay. Sawzalls. Got some pikemen over there. The dude with the gyro hammer and the smokestacks. Oh, man, I think KO look cooler than people give him credit for. Well, this is, hold up, this is a lot of the melee guys. 12 melee guys to be delivered with the littler ship, the melee ship. Interesting. Only 5 thunderers. We found the only honest KO player in the world. Anyway, good work. I like the rune. I like the rune writing over here as well. Damn, this is looking kind of nice though. The gemstone stuff. He gave everyone a warp crystal. Even the clan rats get warp crystals on their bases. This is the richest Skaven. And also custom gnaw holes, which are warp gnaw jacuzzis looking like. And good work here with the brass. Brass goes well with orange, of course. Or brass goes well with green, of course. Because it's just a shifted version of red and green. Nice metallics. Oh, he's got the blaster. The sextuple blaster boy. He went with 2 flares as well. Maybe it's more common than I thought for there to be 2 flares just kind of running around as the last few points. You played that Skaven army too? His name was Chris. Cool guy. All right, nice. Oh, they come in sets of 2. Well, that makes more sense then. Is this new Grey Seer detected? Which I think is a wonderful new sculpt. I really like a lot of the updates they did to the Skaven stuff. The Skaven update felt a lot like the Slaves to Darkness update, where they really tried to make sure that they respected the aesthetic of what came before them. They just like upped the poly count, right? It's like going from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 5 or whatever, you know. And if you have a really strong theme that's very good, you know, Slaves to Darkness is kind of timeless, Skaven is kind of timeless, then really you just need to update the graphics, but keep the art style similar. And I think they all look really good. I don't like the Molder stuff, but I don't like the Molder stuff anyway. So that's neither here nor there. It's like a personal preference kind of thing. Warp Dust Jacuzzi, Party Rats, absolutely. Lumineth. There he is, dropping down from on high. And Selenar. What do we got? We got some Dawn Riders over here. We got some Shoot Men, some Pike Men. And then we have endless spells that will be auto-placed upon the table every turn, no matter what. List is looking pretty elite, looking pretty small, as the points on Lumineth continue to rise. But it's just classic. White, you know, white is hard to do. It's hard to do a real good, creamy white, and your mistakes show through. And if you make too many of them and layer it over and over too much, it starts to look kind of thick, right? So getting nice whites and not having any issues with it is tricky to do. This is a nice looking Selenar. Ooh, look at those feathers. Good work there, and all the little crinkles here. Yeah, this is a good looking army. Oh. Single mistake detected. 2 out of 10 would not bang. No, but look at this. This is how you look at it when you're standing there, right? This is about how big it is if you're just standing next to the table. Looks great, you know. Don't worry about it. When you're judging your own stuff and comparing it to other people's, don't worry about it. Next, throw him into the purple sun. Oh, look at how dense with color dense this one is. Completely different type of Lumineth army, right? We got the Fox King over here. Rich colors. Not quite rainbow, but close enough. I don't want to say Skittles because as soon as I do, you're going to not be able to unsee it. But it's kind of a, yeah, we're skittling. Double Fox Boys. Got the Blade Lord up here. And the sister. He wanted an extra monster in his list. Good work there. Bunch of bows. Bunch of kangaroo riders. Lots of flocks too. Flocks always, to me, flocks seem so weird, especially the flower ones. Because it's so happy. And every Warhammer army is just so murderous, right? That it automatically is quite a contrast. Probably the only one that, yeah, the bamboo terrain is a good touch. I think that was just on the table. I think it just so happened to be the perfect table for Lumineth. And the IFC Yipes over here. Oh, you can't see it. But it's the Hindu statue. Triple Foxies. You're getting almost oil painting vibes from it. It looks great, doesn't it? It's very nice. I'm sure it's a terror on the table. Got some Stormcast. Lady Andrasta, the Knight Relictor. Is this Lord Arcanum, I believe? Vigilor is a bunch of dog things. Oh, cool choice. On the wings here. Having them be like standard white wings with some armor stuff and then turning into either red flames or blood or something. I think this is a kind of a striking good aesthetic to go for on these. Doesn't this look nice, especially from afar? Unironically good use of color, I think. And then just boots on the ground and some raptors. Doesn't it remind you of like Fire Mane Angel, Razia, Boros stuff? The really angry Avacyn, like the red-white Avacyn lady in one of her incarnations. I can't remember what her name, the one that flips over and makes stuff indestructible flash. Avacyn the Purifier, yeah, that could be it. Polish cavalry colors, Husaria. Time to make an Angel Army Boros themed, yeah, for sure. Anyway, looking great. I don't know if they're done with this or not, but I want to see Andrasta with this. I want you to do that over here. It'd look hella sick. Do that over here. You've seen a lot of crown spines. This isn't entirely true, but if you have to admit that you simply should be playing endless spells, or you're kind of bad, but you hate endless spells, then the choice is Kronspine. Because you just cast one, it hunts the other ones, it's kind of like a monster in your army, and just fucking, okay, I buy one thing, and that's it. I'm not trying to put shackles out over and over, I'm not trying to min-max this or that. I'm just admitting that, yeah, this is the era we live in, and I'll take the one that fights the other ones. I don't think it's a bad choice. Like, it's what I would do. If I was gonna be in more tournaments and really, like, play endless spells and stuff, I would just have a Kronspine, and I certainly wouldn't buy it. I would make my own. For the following reasons. Or for the preceding reasons, I should say. You played against this list? Dan is an awesome dude. Nice. Isn't it neat how every time I go over these Age of Sigmar tournaments and I put people's armies up, there's always somebody in chat. Not every army, but for a lot of them, where they're like, oh, I played against that guy. He's a cool guy. I played against this list. Dan's an awesome dude. It's just nice to hear that from a tournament, you know? From like a Games Workshop war game that sometimes has maybe a reputation. I suppose not Age of Sigmar, it's more 40k that has the reputation, whether or not it's true. I bet it's overblown, you know. What size base is Kronspine? It's not the full pie plate. It's the pie plate down. 130, I think. It's not Alarial. It's the step down from that. Yeah, Kazadog says 130. I think it is 130. Where the Goblin players at? I'm almost positive there were some. Let's see, what do we got here? I'm just going in order so that I don't miss any. Another person who wasn't quite finished painting, it's fine. Clearly you're not done painting. You'll finish up eventually. Until then, let's play a game. He loses some points on painting, right? But you're just trying to play 5 games, take pictures of people's armies. No big deal. Painting in a hotel room, for sure. Kronspine. Shoot'ems. A bunch of dogs. Oh, these are the Vigilors, right? The guys who are, like, decent at shooting and decent at fighting, and they have the good... What is it? They have either a debuff or a buff that they land on somebody. It's like either +1 to hit or a debuff on the enemy that you shoot. I think it's a +1 to hit. Anyway, I thought they were cool. Oh, that's a lot of shooting, actually. He's got 12 of them. And then Big Dog. Very not done, but I'm sure it'll look great when it is. It's got the paint judging thing out. Chill, it's fine. Everybody knows it. Dude, the big dragon. The big dragons are looking kind of nice, especially after that FAQ change that allows the Praetor squad to use their ability from the heavens, just land behind them. Dragons are looking a lot better. Especially in an edition where -1 number of attacks is really detrimental. Since the best way to deal damage in the game right now is with cavalry and infantry. So -1 number of attacks is something like -10 great attacks, you know. If Monster Mash was really powerful this edition, like, that debuff would suck. But it's not. Yeah, crazy giving -2. Jeez.
Good job, King.
Barred from Entry thinks it's a big prime. 9 months. Armies, let's go. And Pestering Pickle thinks it's tier 1. TY both. Hey, sometimes hotel room paint jobs put you in a tie for fan favorite. Yeah, true. And sometimes you just need that extra bit of, like, we gotta finish our homework. You know, some people would never finish an army if it wasn't for a tournament coming up, right? So, whenever are you really done painting? Yeah, true. There's always something else you can do. G-Well thinks it's $5. Appreciate it on the YouTube side. I click like, and I click heart. Notice that in the Stormcast pre-order reveal, they're porting over an Underworlds Warband as a generic wizard unit. I think we'll see that more. I kind of hope so. If it means the unit becomes permanent, it means I have to care about it, right? The reason I'm mostly kind of whatever to realm rule, like Armies of Renown or Underworld Warbands or Warcry stuff, is that maybe I'm taking the long-term view of it and I shouldn't. But I'm like, yeah, it's a thing that's going to be around for a season or two. And then eventually they're going to stop printing it and it'll go away. So why do I care about it, you know? But if they're going to make some of these permanent, then good. Well, first of all, I feel like they should. If they sell the fucking thing for the game, they shouldn't just be shit-canning them all the time. And second, it'd be nice to look at some of those squads with refreshed, I don't know, just new eyes, I suppose. Some of them are really good, especially the Stormcast ones. They've gotten a lot better at making those things neat. Jared Hayes, weirdly, I kind of feel like the dragon doesn't need much. Very much has a stone dragon vibe, which was some heavy shading and gray dry brush. It would be sick. They did that a lot early, like very early on in Age of Sigmar. A lot of people did Stonecast, where they made them all look like statues. That was like really popular initially, right away with Stormcast. And then it dropped off and you don't see that anymore. Maybe there's a resurgence, I'm not sure. Helps make them feel safer purchases as a customer too. Yeah, to me it's kind of an extension of that. I suppose it's fine for an Underworlds player because they kind of know what they're getting into with a rotation or something, but I don't know too much about Underworlds. I can't speak to that, but it's hard for me to justify spending like $100 on something that I'm going to be able to use for a year, you know? I'm fine paying GW prices if I can use it for 8 years like I have for my army, right? Less so if it's less so, right? Storm Coven Warband is a wizard unit with a strike first, strike last war scroll spell. Sounds good to me. Strike first, strike last, music to my ears. Those are good abilities. You want to buy them, but you know you're quote-unquote wasting money to be buying them, yeah. I just want some, what is it that all the investor people say? Confidence, does it count? I don't know. I'm not a businessman, clearly. But I want some of that. Ooh, we got a trip to the Everwinter on this one. Look at that. Oh, and he's got the pizza pit. My man. He knows where this is at. Oh, he gave him shields, too. Cool. Little custom shields. Got a Sarlacc pit there. Yo, you don't see this very often. Bloodpelt Hunter. Not even a wizard. I believe it does not cost a drop. I think Bloodpelt Hunter is one of the free ones that isn't a drop. Although it costs more than I would like. I wonder how that one worked out for them. A lot of Mournfang and triple Tuskies. Triple Thunder Tusk. Looks like one of each. Frostlord, Huskguard, and Beast Riders. The Beast Riders fresh off their big points drop. I think these guys are closing in on... They're like... I can't remember how much they are anymore, but the race to the bottom for Thunder Tusk Beast Riders is such that they're like almost 200 points, maybe even less in the future. So you're paying almost nothing for a monster that sucks, but it captures 10, right? That's kind of sick. And then the Frostlord version has the big Wombo combo once a game, if you manage to set it up. And then this one's a priest, and you love priests. We love priests. This one's probably a priest too. I'm sure he took that trait. Anyway, Pizza Pit Enjoyer, this thing's sick. That's a lot of Mournfang. You also played that guy? Cool guy. Got the win on that one. All right. That's a fine I always like those comments. I played that guy. It was sweet. One of these days I'm going to get, I played that guy. That son of a bitch. He fucking cheated me. I'm going to hear that one sometime. It doesn't happen a lot. But one of these times somebody's going to say something like that. Maw Pit is such a sick upgrade over the Maw Pot just for fun alone. Yes. Having played with Maw Pit a lot on TTS, it is very fun to shoot satellite lasers. And it kind of harkens back to the Great Maw, right? The thing that was once their god. I think the Great Maw makes a lot more sense than some Killer Instinct 2 last boss looking ass orc god thing. Like, who? Get that green skin out of here. Give me an ogre god. Trying to eat the world over here. Anyway, great work. Like the scene. Even if this is probably 3D printed. But I don't know, it sets a scene, I guess. I hope it's not AI. It probably is. Next up, the Blood Boy. Look at this. Hey. Any Blood Knight enjoyers? Jesus. CJ, I thought you said you didn't enter this tournament, and yet here we are. Looks like Prince Longdong. Might be a normal Velocita, might not be a normal Velocita. Kind of hard to tell. Nice looking blood wings. I can see the sheen. Got some dogs, got a vampire on foot, and an actual million Blood Knights. When you were born to play Beastclaw Raiders and you accidentally chose Soulblight, but you built a Beastclaw Raiders army anyway. Man after my own heart, let's go. And a Kronspine. That's a lot of Kronspines so far. Yeah, because nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to play with endless spells. Everyone hates them. They don't want to buy them. They're fucking annoying. And so if that's you, you just get a Kronspine. And I would guess that the majority of players don't really want to have to, but if they have to, then they'll just take the one thing. And also, like, it's a monster, man. Kronspine, like, yeah, it has anti-endless spell technology built into it, but you almost don't care about that. It's just it's a literal free monster that you just put on the table. It does decent damage and just flies around. What's not to love? You can resummon it if it dies. Shit's kind of good. That is just GW stance on ogres since time immemorium, and that they have to play second fiddle to orcs. I don't mind playing second fiddle to whoever as long as I look cool and I'm fun. If we got a job in the lore, I expect a job in the lore, right? Like the faction, the Grand Alliance of Destruction might as well be called Grand Alliance Jobs to Everyone in the Lore. I don't care. It doesn't wound me. I just want to look sweet and be sweet. Yeah, it doesn't have the monster keyword, so the anti-monster stuff doesn't quite work on it. Now, it can't use commands, right? So you're not which is like the first thing people learn in 4th edition, is they're like, oh, I'll just countercharge with my Kronspine. And then they look it up. Oh, that's right. Okay, so you can't use commands on endless spells, even though you think maybe they can. And then the second thing people learn is an endless spell worth a blood tithe? Does it count for the Slaughtermaster's thing? Does it count for this? Nope. No to all the above. It's just a thing. Oh, look at that. He's got a little tiny Dinotopia man right on top. Extra bonus. Little Brontodon here. He's got a little friend. Just making sure the terrain feature is A-okay. Got some chameleon skinks over there with the funny little weapon and headdress stuff. Bunch of mounted guys. Skink Starseer. Big jowls. Crocodons in the back. Also, dual gaming, like double gaming, right? Square base on top of circle base. 500 IQ, gets to play 2 different games. Same with these guys back here. Hey, I ain't buying it twice, right? Dinosaurs. This is a very small army. I bet there's more down here, right? Unless Seraphon is much more elite than I thought it was. Double based. Yeah, true. This can't be the whole thing. But it's what they had out. Triple Vanguard. Oh, what's the new chick's name? The big lady with the cool ass mount. Oh, she's really good with Vanguard because there's a combo with her. Is it Abraxia, I think? She's hella sick. He's got the Diablo 3 portal demon. This looks like the caster version on the Manticore. Man, what a night and day difference in these 2 sculpts. 100% awesome and 100% old and ugly for the sculpt. Yo, flying custom dude, I wish I got a better picture of this guy. Bunch of chosen. I think there must have been more to this army, unless this is just the most elite, humongous guy. Yeah, there's got to be. I bet there's more for Vanguard. If he's playing Abraxia, I bet there's more for Vanguard in here. Yeah, Mutalith Vortex Beast is the actual name of this thing, and then the other version of it, I can't remember what the other one is called. Crown Royal. Oh yeah, this is classic work. Every Dungeons and Dragons player in 1991 had their dice in their dad's Crown Royal bag. I think it was a velvety purple, maybe. This is a green one. That's it. The Slaughter Brute is the other one, yeah. Green bag flex. Speaking of flex. Oh. Okay then. Any Khorne enjoyers? This is a display board. Jesus. Also, custom demon blood river. Fucking dudes. Giant symbol. Printed background. This is actually painted very well as well. All these dudes. Blood Warrior's looking crisp. This was one of my opponents. Played him around, geez, I want to say around... This might have been the final round I played against. And so I had a wonderful experience playing against a really good-looking ass army. All these dudes are looking sick. He had a massive unit of Skull Reapers that I was kind of terrified of. And then a bunch of blood warriors and shit. It was sick. And the cave. Notice how it's kind of lit in here. All right. The bloodletters are coming out of the red light cave, the teleport district. This thing is actually floating above the water. Jesus. Not bad. Did he have Man of War playing? No, this was a good one. So it takes all kinds. You know, there were people whose shit wasn't finished. There are people whose shit was not great, but they did it, you know, and they finished it, and that's what they can do, and they're on that part of their hobby journey. And then there are people like this. Tournament will have them all. Dio album cover looking display board. Yeah, some Ronnie James Dio stuff. Anyway, that one looks sick. Slan detected. Chameleon skinks detected. A lot of mounts of all the different types too. A bunch of different types of mounted stuff. A little orange but sandstone-ish colored bases with some nice inlays. I didn't notice the arrow at first on these. I didn't think it had that many PlayStation button symbols on it. You're surprised that's 2K? The cavalry is actually pretty expensive. Each unit of 3 is a lot. This guy's trying to run across the table. He's trying to play fair and square Warhammer in a Seraphon army, which is, I think, kind of what they are now. Oh, is this Christian Weir's? Oh, this is, I can't scroll up anymore. This is Christian Weir's army. I think Seraphon are, like, playing fair and square now, which is weird to say. Because historically, Seraphon has always been on some bullshit. That's just how their rules have always worked. So it's strange that they're doing the straight man thing now. Yeah, the pink and teal looks kind of neat too, don't you think? Really striking, sharp colors. And then a completely different Seraphon. Look at this vine work. Looking good. And having these things be metallic, I think, is a really nice idea. Makes them pop out. Just smooth pastel sort of colors here, right? Gossamer blue and light purples. Almost looks like what would you call it? Like chalk, you know, like chalky color. I really like this. It's a very soothing Seraphon army. It's just looking good. The Black Sword and Phaedros. Are you liking AoS 4 so far? I'm liking AoS 4 a lot. The edition just came out, and, you know, I've only been to one tournament so far and played a bunch of games. And this is what everyone always says when a new edition comes out. They're like, well, it's better than the last edition, right? And I say that too. Yeah, I think I like it better in third. And the problems with fourth are, to me, super easy to fix and, like, really obvious. You just, like, pinpoint a few big ones and then we're good. The state of my army itself is really bad, but that's not the edition. That's just, like, the index that I got. So I think that's different. Anyway, good work. Albinosaurus, yeah. I think this is a cool one. You don't see this type of color that much. Everyone's usually really loud and forceful with their colors. And you rarely see moonlight stuff or pastel stuff. I like it. Good work. Oh yeah, we talked about this one already. Got some bigs and crag big. Oh, Night Haunt unfortunately kind of blends in with the background texture here. But they went with ooze green on them. Glorious black coach, always looking real nice. Keeping the Hex Wraiths to a minimum, it looks like. Still a good unit, though. A whole bunch of the what are they called? The snipper lady, the ladies that have the scissors. Can't remember what they're called. Bladegeist Revenants here. Lady, oh yeah. Reikenor the Grim Hailer. And looks like Grimghast Reapers, those are the ones with the scythes. Kind of went Neapolitan with it. You like to see it. Dreadscythe Herodans, that's it. Couldn't remember the name. Are Fire Slayers the definition of fuck around and find out in 4-foot tall models? Yeah, Fire Slayers are cool. Like, their rules are sweet. Blazing Runes, fighting first sometimes, pretty durable but still having good damage. You have a decent amount of priests and prayers and stuff like that. The Magma Droth is actually good, as long as there's a Forge Father on top of it. Your problem is, you're unbelievably slow. In a game where being slow is bad. So you start out behind and you gotta try to catch up. I think they're fine. They're like, you know, I think they're in the middle somewhere. If you're talking about power level, they're fine. It's good to hear you're up 2-1 with the glorious Rat Boys so far. Lost Slaves to Darkness, won against Stormcast, and a Bloodbound themed BOK army. Nice. Yeah, Skaven are fun this edition, I think. Next up, a different Night Haunt. This one very color-coded. And red and light blue. Real striking. A nice looking Lady O in the middle there. Some Hax Wraiths, Reikenor. Oh, the cross boos. Actually playing some cross boos. You'll love to see it. "40 Bladegeist Revenants. Chop them up. Absolutely slice them up. Are they new player friendly, and who effectively counters them? I don't play them, so I don't have a keen insight on who is the paper to their rock, right? For matchup analysis. Are they new player friendly? Yeah, I think every army is new player friendly. I don't know of an army that's not. Like from a gameplay perspective. Maybe Slanesh. Maybe a Lumineth. Yeah, I don't think the game is like terrifically complicated. Tzeentch, I think Tzeentch is real easy. People say like, oh, you want to pick a simple army. You don't want to pick an army that has lots of options for a new player. I think it's actually generally the opposite. I think if your army has tons of options and tons of rules, it means it's easy. It means whatever situation you're in, you have some bullshit ass get out of jail free card ability that saves you from making a mistake. That an army with no options and makes a tiny mistake has to just eat shit for it, right? And so I think maybe paradoxically, or counterintuitively, I mean, armies that have almost no like choices to make or special powers and special abilities and rules they get to ignore, those are the ones that are actually harder to play and worse for new people. If you're just thinking about, yeah, no, good point, Mr. Glance. I would say for new players, I would not choose KO. I would say don't pick KO. And aside from that, you'll be fine. Tough to remember everything, isn't it? The first 3 times you play, maybe, but you'll print out a little thing, and then you'll play and you'll look at it. And after 5 games, after 5 real-life games, no matter what your army is in this game, you'll probably start just memorizing everything. You know? For the initial absolute first time you play the game ever, sure. But, I mean, you'll just write it down, and after 5 real-life games, you're probably good about remembering your own stuff. And keep in mind, too, or at least I like to, is it's good for an army to be easy to get into, but you also don't want someone to hit that ceiling too quickly. You want there to be a decent ceiling to it. What's wrong with KO? Their rules change completely every single edition, and often mid-season. And they're either really, really good in a kind of cheating at the game sort of way, or terrible. And so you're just bobbing back and forth between being useless or overpowered in a way that everyone complains about, with really intricate rules that change based on an FAQ. So it's just really finicky rules-wise, and they've never really hit it right. And things are going to change a lot all the time. And so that's why I would be maybe hesitant about KO. And, you know, there's some other armies that are quote-unquote hard to play, right? Like Idoneth Deepkin are hard to play. Cruel Boys are hard to play well. You know, but I don't think being hard to play is like a bad thing. Some people like armies that are hard to play. It kind of depends on what the new player is trying to do. It's just KO has a rocky history of their rules being finicky and changing in minor ways all the time, in a weird way. Aren't Gits also weird to play? Damn. Gits are... depends on what Gits you're talking about. Gits is 3 armies in a trench coat that never really got fully done up together. The coat hasn't been fully buttoned up so much. There's one of the armies in there is called Spiderfang. Do not buy that army. Do not... Like, this is a warning that... Like, I'm kind of memeing with the other stuff just a little bit, but this is one of those, like... This is one of those, like, don't buy Bone Splitters right now kind of things. I wouldn't get anyone into Spiderfang. Because whether or not they even stay legal in the game on into next edition, I think is a big question mark. And I don't want to get a new player into something and have them just, like, retire it. So that's a different sort of warning for that one. If you like playing ogres, but you think trogs look cooler, then trogs are good. If you like playing weird guys with a million abilities that are bouncing all over the place and die constantly, play Gits. I think Gits are better than people think right now. I don't know that they're good, but they're, like, better than people think, I guess. I think they're good. Ahem. You heard Sylvaneth are difficult to work with because of trees. It means you're going to have to buy some trees. And if you're going to go somewhere, you have to lug some trees with you. Which is maybe annoying for some people, or a deal breaker for other people. Sylvaneth are very good right now. They were alright before, and they just caught a revolutionary rewrite that made them the probably the second best destruction army in the game. Except they're in order. The best destruction army in the game is Sylvaneth, arguably. The second best, tied with Sylvaneth for the best destruction army in the game, is Nighthaunt. And then the third best destruction army in the game is maybe Cruel Boys if you play it really well. Thanks for the game, Sunday. I was your Bone Reaper's opponent. Our game was fun. Yeah, nice. I haven't gotten to your army yet, but I'll talk about it when I do. I played against the OBR player. She was Cash. I like OBR. I think the army is sweet. Pretty sure I lost that game, but it was still fun. Where do flesh eaters sit on the totem pole? The totem pole is stuck into the corpse of flesh eater courts, and then the totem pole goes up, and then you see the armies in the totem pole. So it's not only at the bottom, it has been pierced by the totem pole at the very bottom. Only destruction army, or only death army worse than flesh eater courts is no, they're at the bottom. If you're talking power level and stuff. Haven't seen a rewrite this good since Ironjaws became before the War Clans book released back in 2019. Yeah, Sylvaneth is looking hot. It's looking hot. The winner of this event, by the way, was a Sylvaneth player who was like constantly talking about how he couldn't believe he couldn't believe that they wrote that they let him do this. They're like, I don't know what they were thinking. They're letting me do this. Is Usharan good? Yes. He looks awesome and is good. And because they failed really bad to write army rules for you, you have to play Usharan because he gives you your army rules. They don't really work without him. And I'm cutting to the chase with a real long story short on that one. Luckily, Usharan looks so sick that you actually do want to play him, so it's like not a big deal. Phaedros X. So I had a funny thing during your last game. Your opponent did his pregame spiel and then passed on hearing mine, so I let him know my Vermin Lord had Scurry Away. Later on, he does Slay the Entourage and picks the Vermin Lord, and then you roll the 3 up and just scurry away. And he got gotcha'd because he claimed to know all about Skaven. Hey, pride cometh before the fall, right? I've definitely done that before, but I always preface it so that I'm safe, which is, if somebody's trying to tell me all of their rules, you know, I'm like, look, that's a lot. You just told me all that. I probably didn't process it all. If it surprises me later, it's 100% on me because I should have just looked it up, but I didn't. Hey, all right. It's fine. If I gave a shit enough, I would have practiced against your army, and I would be looking it up on my phone right now to always keep checking. But clearly I don't care enough to do that. And so I deserve what's going to happen to me. FEC was the last book of last edition, and it was peak until the new edition launched. Like all last book, the edition armies, they turn to suck immediately. Yeah, they stopped doing this, but they often say things like, this book is written with next edition in mind. And maybe they had it in mind, but it just never works out. It never ends up doing that. I think the one time maybe it did was Soulblight, from 2nd to 3rd. It kind of did there. You know, I made mistakes in games, right? I'm like, I'm gonna do seize the center, right? And then I proceed with my turn, and I get to my movement phase, and I look, and it turns out that there's a terrain feature in the perfect place so that I can't actually get within 3. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should have looked at that. Or, you know, my opponent's foot hero that's anti-monster is like right there, and then I go in to fight something, and the foot hero piles in and kills my monster. I'm like, oh, that's right, that guy was there. That was the foot hero with anti-monster. Yeah, you know.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Dylan. You son of a bitch. Here, let me put the coolest one we've seen so far up. Amazing Plibet. Big Raider with 34 viewers. Hey, thanks for showing up. I'm going over... I took pictures of everybody's army from Dragonfall, Age of Sigmar. And we're just going over them. Who can say where your bathhouse? Only time raid. Oh, shit. All right. Nice one. Looking kind of big. Yeah. This was somebody's display board that they made for their army. Their Khorne army. And so I decided to put the impressive one up because the Raiders just replied. You know, I played all day Sunday in full plib gear. All right? I don't leave the house a lot, and it shows. I had the new plibby t-shirt with the Japanese text. I had the plibbo hat. 80s sunglasses. 2016 Doom hoodie. In full cosplay outside goer gear. Absolutely plibbed out. Oh, and so was CJ. I played Commander with CJ Saturday. He had the plib hat. Gotta represent, you know, you gotta rep the gear. If you're not wearing the gear of your favorite VTubers, I mean, are you really a fan? Yeah, he repped the hat. Silver lining is Fleshy to Courts being bad is it shows Matt Rose isn't showing blatant favoritism for his main army. Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to. But then again, I hear Games Workshop games have perhaps had an issue with that, had like a problem with that in the past. So I guess, and it is a silver lining, I guess we're past that time, at least. Grinders, Karazai, Ionis, Stormdrakes, Dracothian Guard. Let's go. Where were we? Oh yeah, if you look closely, these are all metallic. He painted his Seraphon toad casting dinosaur army in Lamborghini, changes color as you walk past the paint job of it, metallic car colors. And so the picture doesn't do it justice, but his dinosaur army is painted up with car paint jobs. Hey, all right. Also, he's got to bling out the Purple Sun and Gravetide as well. With the dudes. Yeah, there are a lot of Seraphon here, surprisingly. Next up was an Orc army. Ironjaws. Kind of muted, dirty, banged up sort of color scheme, but one I rather like. It's just simple and bruised up, and then of course the dude riding a dragon who punches people. This one was looking good in real life, I gotta say. I still haven't played against Ironjaws that wasn't pig spam. I played against Big Pig. I played against the pig spam version. But I haven't played against the whole bunch of brutes, a whole bunch of Ard boys kind of list yet. And now that they can wah every single turn of theirs, I'd be interested in seeing what that looks like. Ooh. Sorry for the... Jesus. The effulgence of this. Absolutely rainbow hues. Doesn't it look like the camera caused an error or something? Like you're seeing the color information peak on the histogram? Look at this neon Tzeentch. And the terrain they're walking on reminds me of a No Man's Sky planet, right? Which is blue with purple tufts, I should say. Synthwave Tzeentch, yeah. Tzeentch wave. Golden rings around the bases, absolutely disgusting. They should be black. Gold is a good choice if you wanted to draw the eye from here to here, for sure. I don't think you should ever break the rule, but if you're going to, it does look nice. Yeah, the POV, you're the predator looking at someone's Warhammer army. Anyway, I think it actually works. Man, those colors just pop. The Bears. Oh shit, Ditka. I don't want to make this connection, but somebody at the venue had a jersey that said Mike Ditka on the back of it, probably from Chicago. And I saw the Bears, and I'm like, please tell me that the guy playing the Bears was the one with the Ditka jersey. Holy. If these are the Bears, is this guy the Fridge? Yo, those are houses. Bro, they're so big. Holy, big lady. The Valkyr, Gatebreaker. Bro, this is a whole house. This is a log cabin. The sense of scale. You didn't have to buy trees this small, but he's like, you don't understand. You don't understand. These giants are fucking huge. Cool. And then Zeus the Beard Lord over here, absolutely wide gaming. The Jarl, right? King Broad, double Gatebreaker, and triple Man Crushers. This is a fun list. This is a cool list. I think this is like probably the Sons of Behemat list, right? Because there aren't too many other choices to take than these, because the Gatebreakers are the only good ones, and King Broad is the only one that's a priest, and then you probably should just have 3 guys. Giant woman stepped on my house. We will never financially recover. Dude, they're so huge, they could almost like step on the house, but it would just land in between the big toe and the other toe. And now look at that. You got an in-ground pool. Huge. Anyway, good work. Obviously not Games Workshop models, completely custom. If you're the percentage of players who are playing non-Games Workshop stuff, Sons of Behemat is the army that the most people do that in by far. And not only because the megas have the same foot pattern, so they kind of look copy-pasted if you play 4 of them, but also they're super expensive. And so most people are just like, look, I'm gonna do something else here. I lost my place. Where are the Jarls? Okay, yeah, right there. Next. Usually you gotta pay to get a big lady to wreck your house. Alright, I'll take your word for it. So to be a bit off topic, what's the state of Soulblight Gravelords? It's great. It's one of the big winners of the edition. You can actually play a few different army lists in the Soulblight book. And that's very rare. Most of the indexes, there's clearly one good army and then the rest is trash. Soulblight, you can go a few different ways. A lot of stuff is good. They're good. But they're not so good that everyone hates you. It's kind of in a good spot, relatively speaking. Got some Nurgle dudes, the 3 brothers on top of each other's. Very detailed army. I decided to
Yes.
focus in on this thing. I probably should have focused in on this stuff because this stuff is looking fairly nice as well. You got that oxidation, rust effect going on. A lot of nice little details, grotesque goop everywhere, and the slimy boys. Overall, good work. Nurgle has a high chance of having really good painters because it gives you a lot of... Oh, and actually, I didn't notice. Good slime work. You like to see the slime work there. Ortiers thinks with 90 bits. Appreciate it. Ale Guzzler slander. Is it slander if it's true? Ale Guzzlers are trash. Probably the worst model they currently sell in the whole company, in my IMO. Just sculpt-wise. Embarrassing. It's like a walking cow. Next up, Slavs to Darkness. Oh, with Be'lakor, my boy. Oof. Looking good. Looking good, King. Horns be wide. Nice wing chains with wing skulls. Oh, that's where usually you see the thing. I bet it's the Stormcast one. It's probably not the Space Marine one. Good work. Good work. Really good looking. Yo, you can kind of see where the light is coming from on these really good looking horses. They have this kind of metallic sheen to them, don't they? Like they're riding in the moonlight. Really cool looking. Nice cape game working on. This is a nicely painted army. Got some autofocus. What's this guy's name again? Eternus. Actually playing Eternus. Surprising. Is he good now with the points decrease? I didn't think he did much. And so I don't know that I cared what kind of points he was on. I suppose he's playing the Furies, so maybe he wanted to be the battery. Yeah, these are very airbrushed, right? These little demon things, but I bet, considering the amount of work that went into these over here, it's clear that these are not done, right? Like they're not complete. Absolutely gleaming, glistening out, these chosen. And then the other stuff is out of focus. I don't know. I didn't think Eternus was any good at all. Like actively bad, but I don't mean to insult this person's mostly really well painted army. And I'm sure they'll win games with all of this, whether or not this thing is here, right? This is a free choice. I think you can beat people with just this stuff, whatever this guy does. We got some Fire Slayers. Next up. Double Latchkey Grand Axe Big Dads on Magmadroths. 2 Big Dads. Pretty well painted. By the fuzzy look of things here. Clearly I got these ones in focus more than these ones. Yeah, you know, it does have a little bit of a Deathwing vibe, doesn't it, from Cataclysm? True. Yeah, quite true. Did you watch the Golden Demon figures? No, I didn't. Pazda. Did it play someplace? Ahem. Unfortunately, this guy had his stuff packed up, but it was Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, and then whatever the points were left over, he just wanted the triple thirsties. The 3 big Ds. Probably just blasting people. Some more Night Haunt over here. Oh, and this one with a proper amount of 10 Hex Raids. Big block. Whole bunch of Bladegeist Revenants. The Cheaty Face guys that just got balanced to be the best victory point farmers in the game, down from the best victory point farmers of all time across all editions. So they're right in line. They're back into the stratosphere. I rather, you know, this is a nice Lady L. Purple and cream, so that the roses really pop around her and the golden headdress. I rather like this. Nice graveyard, too. This is a good Lady L. Just nice clean colors. And my man here. Blue sun, maybe not a purple sun. Anyway, good work. I would, good work, would lose to it 10 games out of 10 in a row. And then an 11th, just to make sure. Huge excuse me. Anyway, the Knights of Bronto. This is looking great. Look at how fun Sylvaneth is. Oh, nice Glade Wyrm. Balthanos here, nice bug stuff. Her Royal Thyness over here. Riding the bug. Blue and orange, we got a DVD color scheme, but if it works, it works. Ghostly green on these guys as well, which fits with the whole thing. Nice Wyrm. And he didn't put the trees on these things, which is... Thank you. Every person who plays with and against you will thank you for not putting the trees on. Great work. Fucking Gurthu with his 16-foot-long sword. Decided to play a Gurthu. I don't know that he's quite worth it, but he sure is fun when he works. You're going to do 25 damage or kind of be disappointing. One of the two. And this tree thing just became a wildwood, right? It counts as a wildwood now. I returned from Dragonfall with news that Sylvaneth is quite good now. BitCloud, hey, thanks for the big prime. But the trees are fun. They're fun looking. They're definitely not fun to play with or around or on. But they look good. Depends on what you care about. Perhaps you make it so that you can take them off, right? So you get the best of both worlds or something like that. Anyway, good work. Nice autumnal little fall scene here. Cool thing about Sylvaneth is that one of the easiest, like the first idea anyone could ever think of is a seasonal thing, but it actually works very nicely. You can do a good seasonal thing. Hey, good work. Next. I might have lost my place again. Is this it? Yeah, cool. We got some Stonehorn. There was another Stonehorn enjoyer who has custom statue horns that he was making. Slightly unfinished, but cool grayscale. Although it is kind of flat, right? There isn't lighting coming from any angle, but he's starting to work on some OSL here. I think it'll end up looking quite cool. Actual stone horns, yeah. And I can just see back here, there is a maw pot. Not a pizza pit enjoyer. I'm not seeing a lot of pizza pit enjoyers, and I'm trying to spread the good word. I think that thing is the shit. I think the pizza pit is sick. Anyway, good work. I'd love to see it when it's done. You did a 4 Seasons Tree Lord army? Yeah, isn't that fun? Like, it's an idea that writes itself, but it's actually very fun to follow through on, and it looks good when it's done. Soulblight Gravelords. Got Prince Longdong, Neferata, the Big Bats. The Big Bats are actually kind of nice. I thought they would just be victory point farmers, but they have several attacks that sometimes matter. Did people just already have Mawpots? Partially that, but I honestly just think that most people didn't notice that it works every hero phase, not just yours. I think they were skimming the rule and they didn't notice that. And, you know, it being a game where you have to buy and paint stuff, I'm sure a bunch of people just felt like, yeah, I got a mop out, I'm not going to get another one, right? But I think it'll catch on. He's missing some Blood Knights. Yeah, true. He should have had 16 or 20 or whatever. But I think these are supposed to be Graveguard, I want to say. Anyway, looking good. Super, super red. Giga red on her. Gold and red. Oh, we see a wave chat in the background there for later. Yes. Remember that one video I did called It's Okay to Be Okay? And I talked about how some people just like dragons, so let them play their dragons. This dude loves dragons. Ionis. 3 dragons. 3 dragons. Crondias. We're done here. I play dragons. And yeah, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey inside this bucket that this thing is standing on was filled to the brim with ice and little travel versions of Fireball Whiskey, and he was just passing it out. I was taking a picture of his army, and I'm like, hey, this is sweet. And he's like, oh yeah, you like that? You want a Fireball Whiskey? And I'm like, hell yeah, brother. And he just opens up the tub and hands me it. I'm like, let's fucking go. Delicious. Took me right back to 4th grade. Delicious. Anyway, so this one got my vote for favorite army because he bribed me with liquor, which is a time-honored tradition. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. It is actually it happens so often that it has become a meme in Age of Sigmar tournaments. That the person going for favorite army / sportsmanship actually truly bribes people with liquor. Like, brings a margarita mixer that looks like it's a Skaven thing that puts warp ooze out or whatever. Brings Fireball Whiskey with dragons. There's always at least one person, and the most I ever saw was 3 in one tournament that were essentially trying to buy votes by handing out liquor. And we like them for it. Good work. Great work. You're sad because you're allergic to artificial cinnamon flavoring, so you can't drink Fireball anymore. Don't worry, he had a second bucket of, I think, a bunch of like travel Bacardis just in case someone had a cinnamon allergy. He was prepared to buy your vote. Don't worry, you will not be left out of the fun. The man likes dragons and pleasing customers. Excellent choice. Ten steps ahead. Base Dragon Enjoyer. We got Slaves to Darkness. Big. Cool looking jowls there. 6 Varangard. 10 Chosen. Be'lakor. Demon Prince. Some flappy guys to pretend like you're going to care about victory points. That's it. We're in. Only huge, elite, expensive dudes. A man after my own heart. What a great Slaves to Darkness list. Why pay for something that isn't the best at the thing that it does? I want cavalry. Then I buy the best, most expensive cavalry. And reinforce it. I want foot guys. Alright, buy the best, most expensive foot guys. And reinforce it. I want to buff shit. Alright. Overpriced but fun and good Demon Prince. I want a guy who literally cheats at the game. Okay, Be'lakor. There it is. And then you got some Furies. The fight twice army. These guys fight twice. These guys fight twice. This guy stops your opponent from doing anything. And if they don't do anything, it's kind of like you fight twice. I don't know. The only thing is I could have seen an Abraxa here, right? Like Abraxia instead of him. So that it would be truly fight twice the army. Yeah, it is actually buried in that, if you'll note. Yeah, its lower jaw is buried in the ground. I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's a reason for that, theme-wise or not. Ahem. Next. Oh, we got some colorful Ironjaws here. Football Ironjaws. Look at these colors. These Ironjaws were in the lore. This Ironjaws army, like, found those kids from Hook that have all that, like, multicolored goop they were painting with and eating, and they just, like, put it on their armor. That's what it reminds me of. And then the big man. Double big pig. Actually, one big pig and one normal pig. And the Krondis. And then only brutes. Well, okay, brute ragers, I guess. Dude, Ironjaw's only big guy is the army. Let's go. Oh, it's too bad. This guy was already packing up by the time I was taking pictures of it, but, you know, nice wings. Nice airbrush wings there. Nice snow theme. Good looking chosen down there. And Archaon detected. Nice Archaon, actually. We had to see at least one. Ahem. You can give the Demon Prince the fight twice artifact. Oh shit, you can. True. I don't mean to alarm you, but Archaon is actually kind of good this edition. You can one-drop with Archaon. He's actually kind of good. He is really hard to kill. Slaves terrain versus the Ogre Pizza Pit is so sad. Yeah, the Slaves terrain sucks. Every Slaves player I talk to, every time I play a game against Slaves to Darkness, they put out the terrain feature and then they look at me and they're about to say something. And I'm like, this is where the Slaves to Darkness player tells me their terrain is bad. I'm like, yeah, I'll put down this useless thing. And I'm like, there it is every time. It's not good. I agree with you. Yeah, Archaon is big. He's simply huge. I don't know if I would sweat the one drop that much, but... Oh, a dynasty army, huh? Ilya, what is it? Ilya Volga and Chadukar the Based, plus the Fox Lady as well, or the Wolf Lady, I mean. Some custom cav here. Lots of dogs, as one would expect. Graveguard down here for the big chops. The big two-handers. Fun color scheme too, green and gold, huh? I believe this is this 40 Graveguard. 40 Graveguard and the Virkos Dynasty people. Sick. Color-coded probably by unit so they can keep them distinct. Good work. That's fun. I haven't seen anyone do this, but you look over their stuff and they're like, yeah, okay, if you want to play dogs and stuff, this is the army to do it. But you never, I don't know, I don't see this a lot. So it's nice to see. And how do you make Graveguard work? Well, you put shit in front of them. Well, there you go. Ad break. Ooh, an ad break in 3 seconds? Okay, we're lining it up. I'm going to cut to commercial. Take a bathroom break. Please enjoy a word from our sponsors, and we'll return to looking at everybody's armies and chatting about them.
Right now, you could be savoring the rich, creamy flavor of angel food ice cream. It's the extra cream in angel food that blends all of your favorite flavors so they're always smooth and creamy. Never pointy. How about some rich and creamy angel food ice cream right now?
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the
Cream.
Let's find out.
Let your fingers do the walking.
I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls on my top. I'm Mr. Bucket.
What do you get when you press on a can of Noxema?
Great balls of comfort.
You get
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, well, I heard that before.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
I'm calling paramedics and your family, Mr. Miller.
You can make this creamy cheese sauce in seconds with American cheese and
Cream.
mushroom Lipton cup of soup. And you thought cup of soup just made soup.
Oh, yeah. Cream in the World Wrestling Federation.
Wait a minute,
and there is
More real meat. You'll be glad we made him taste better. And so will he.
All right, so I'm back, and behind the scenes, I was opening up all the pages for the Warhammer previews for when the looking at everybody's army and talking about Dragonfall would end, so that I could hot swap to the news, you know? And this is what this is what I was shown. Games Workshop website. Hey, thanks a lot. Good work. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be back up by the time we get to it. Anyway, here we have a narrative army. Everybody's favorite 80s band, Marathi and the Bow Snakes. I mean, they weren't bad. I like Heart more, but fair enough. More of a Heart guy, you know? Anyway, you don't see Daughters of Cain a lot. And this one had Marathi. Bold move there. And some of you might think that that's sarcasm. But this edition, it actually is. Marathi costs a crazy amount of points. Yeah, she's amazing, but they finally made her so expensive that if you're trying to be optimal, I don't actually think you play with her. You didn't hear it from me, though. Anyway, we got bow snakes. We got spear snakes. We got the swirly whirly blood man. Doomfire warlocks make an appearance. They're the top 1, 2, and 3 units to appear in the most please buy this boxes ever. But anyway, good work. Pretty well painted too. Looking nice. Good cohesion. Nice scale work. We got the heating rock right there. Anyway, you love to see it. Marathi looking good as always. Next up. I've lost my place. There's a problem. There we go. We got the rats. Cool bone-colored rat over here. Double big. Look, painted all the tiny little rats on it. Very colorful weapon teams here. Oh, nice gradient work. That's a lot. Hold on. It's just occurring to me what this list is. All right. That's a lot of rattling guns. Does this seem like a lot of rattling guns? No, never mind. This is the correct amount of rattling guns. That's a lot of rattling guns. Good work, though. That's got to be fun. I bet they're rolling so many dice. Rattling gun's actually kind of good, though. Don't tell anyone about it. Next up, we got some Nurgle. Oh, colorful Nurgle. Every time I see these specific Nurgle units on the back of someone's display board, Flight of the Valkyrie plays in my head. And I can't stop it from happening. This guy is invincible. He is a basketball filled with plastic. With a 4 damage sword. Absolutely unkillable. I played against this guy. With his multicolored fun guys. These things, Jesus. I might as well talk about it as we go through it, right? If I played against someone, I should probably just talk about it when we get to them. Maybe I'll do that. I played against this guy around 4, I want to say. It was a fun game. Fresh off the Nurgle buff, where if they kill a unit and the unit was diseased, the unit explodes and diseases everybody else around it, I think. This is a good game and fun. I found Nurgle to be real light on damage, yeah. Nurgle struggles with dealing damage for sure. But these things here, these things don't struggle on dealing damage. I look at these things and I'm like, yeah, these are the endless spells that stop you from using commands. Like, that's good, you know. There's a ton of commands you want to use that are really strong. These things can actually fight, though. They have, like, attacks. And they swiveled around and attacked a Frostlord and did 11 damage to him and just fucking killed him. And I'm like, oh shit. These are the highest damage, this is the highest damage unit in the whole army. It blew a Frostlord's back out. I became afraid of these things during that game. It was hilarious. It was a funny game. And I mostly stayed out of combat with this guy because I wasn't trying to get that sword. And it would take me probably 3 entire battle rounds to kill him. And I might not even. And so I just had to keep away from him. Late getting in, what'd you miss? Nothing, don't worry about it. Just a whole bunch of armies. This is a fun game. Fun game. I would like to see more Nurgle buffs, though, as things continue. They're not there yet. Simply wide gaming. 6 gluttons, 6 gluttons, 6 gluttons, 8 iron guts. Endless spell, technically. 1 big shoot 'em. We are here to walk forward and then do 30 damage. No tricks, no surprises, no durability. We're here to walk forward and do 30 damage. Can you deal with it? If yes, then hey, alright. Otherwise, it's a good time. Gutbusters are a fun army right now. Slightly smaller of an army than they used to be. This list is what? 110 points more expensive than it used to be, I think, because there's 30 off of each of these and 10 or maybe 20 off of this guy. Unjustified nerf. They were already in the win percent Goldilocks zone. Plus 30 on Gluttons was silly. But they don't like it when a destruction army has 1 unit that's efficiently costed. So, I should say efficiently undercosted, perhaps. Late of the party, what was your record? I went 2-3.
Twitch Prime.
Which is considerably better than I thought I was going to do. And so we got to keep it on the, keep it to yourselves. I need those Beastclaw buffs to continue to roll in. So we can't let them know that I won an entire 2 games. With my whack-ass list. Baby seal those bagpipes in the Prime for 20 months. You hope the Ogre refresh leads into Ice Age aesthetic over the lol fat one. I wouldn't mind if it went in a 3rd direction. I like the Beastclaw aesthetic, but I don't like the Stone Age. I don't like the Stone Age stuff, really. And the lol fat stuff I really don't like. So, whatever they do, I'm sure it's going to look great. We've seen what they've done with the Gorgers. And so, damn, those guys look a lot better than they used to. So, hey, I'm looking forward to it, whatever they do. Give them assault rifles and jets. True, finally. Absolutely. Got some more Slaves to Darkness. Man, those capes. White capes? White capes go hard. Good work. Usually, I mean, you always give them red capes, right? Because you just think about it, but white capes with like the green dragon scale shoulders and stuff. This looks nice. Good use of color. Got this guy in here for tricks. Oh, big boys. Actual Theridons. Let's fucking go. Huge. These guys are like glass cannons. They don't look like it, right? They look like they're super durable, but they're not. These are your heavy hitters that can't take a punch. The ultimate, like, Counter-Strike kind of guys. 6 of them is a lot. These guys are going to swing if they're able to. What is this? 10 cavalry. 10 cavalry, 20 warriors, 5 chosen, and 6 Theridons. That's a lot of beef. And Geminids too. Those things do damage. Are Theridons cheaper than Gluttons yet? They are basically Gluttons. I suppose, yeah, in a certain sense, they are kind of like big Gluttons, right? It's sort of like, they're kind of similar to... Well, I mean, the number of attacks is different. I was about to talk about Trogs being kind of like Ogres, too. Or Rat Ogres being like Ogres. "15 wounds for 3 on a 4-up is actually not glass." Okay. To me it is. But, I suppose it depends on what you're hitting them with. Theridon, yeah, if I see Theridons, I know they like to party, and so I appreciate seeing it. Damn, really unique color scheme on this Oziark Bone Reaper, don't you think? Nice teal. Perhaps even baby blue. Little green. I've never seen this scheme. Oh, look at the dude. He's made out of, like, flesh bone. An interesting color scheme for these OBRs. Do you think small army sizes detract from the spectacle of AoS? No. I don't. But to me, a lot of the spectacle of an army are its impressive centerpieces and stuff, and not necessarily 20 guys on the ground versus 60 guys on the ground versus 140 guys on the ground, you know? Which in the real big army games, like Warhammer Fantasy Battle was, like, the armies were large, but they were really, like, wide. Which is realistic, right? You have 1 million troops and formations, like, that's realistic. But essentially, I think you have, like, the same amount of centerpieces. So the spectacle is still there. You just buy less stuff and the games don't take as long. Which I think is a fair enough trade. Yeah, Spearmint OBR, good one. That's a lot of Morghasts, too. I wonder if they're the 3d6 charge ones or the ones that I don't think are good. I can't remember what the other ones even do, actually. I look at the ones and I'm like, yeah, 3d6 charge, that's the ones that I want. Maybe they have a worse save, though, and that's a reason not to do them. I don't play the armies, so... Yeah, and if you want 90 zombies or 1 million squigs and stuff, there are still armies for you to play, right? You can play Gits if you want 1 million guys. You can play Skaven if you want 1 million guys. You can play Soulblight Gravelords if you want 1 million guys. There are still those types of armies, relatively speaking, that play Carpets of Men, if you like that. So some of you might be wondering why so many of these are in, like, Baker tins. And the reason is they have magnets under their bases. And so they're magnetized to them. You could turn them upside down and nothing will happen. It's a great way of transporting stuff. There's 100 horror Zinch list if you want to never seen turn 5, yeah. The game would be so different if it was a digital only game, right? You would see so much more skew. You would see so much more spam. The community would very quickly collapse upon, like, quote-unquote, the best lists, and then everyone would simply copy-paste those ad infinitum. The fact that people, like, really love the thing they love, and they want to party, you know, and play Theridons. They want to play 5 Frost Lords, even though that's bad. They want to do the funny thing and really personalize it, and the fact that it takes time to do all of it really means the game is way different than it would be if it was digital only, and you could kind of hand wave a lot of the other shit and just be like, just play the best stuff, and play some mechanically unfeasible to defeat army for most of the cast or whatever like that. It'd be a lot different. Fizz6, thanks for gifting a sub. Appreciate it. Those baking sheets are actually an expensive Jukaki case. Is that like a Project Melody thing? Thanks for showing my warriors. Oh, the role models. Thanks for the $5. I will show everyone's. Yeah, let's count them, by the way. These are all Nurgle warriors. I mean, like, that's... If you want to play a lot of guys, Yush. And then, what, 5 knights over here. Bunch of flappies. Oh, these aren't Furies. These are... what's it called? Raptorix, right? Is that what these are? If I recall. And then you got a Chaos Sorcerer Lord and the Silver Tower guy. I don't think I could chew through 60 warriors. I don't think I could. My army could actually do it. If you have 10 warriors, I think I need to drive 2 Frost Lords on Stonehorn into 10 warriors minimum and roll well to kill them. Really, I would need probably 3. And that's over half my army already. And there's 60 of them. Against me, you could probably just line these up on the table and walk forward in an actual line. And I would just be pushed into my deployment zone and sit there until I died. Which might be how some of your games went, depending on who you played against. I wouldn't be able to pass the DPS check. Oh, they're Fury proxies. Okay. I think the model is Raptorix, though. Not that I give a shit. My opponent sets these up across the table from me, and I'm like, oh, are those Raptorix? And my opponent would say, no, they're Furies. And I'm like, all right. That's how the AoS community feels about proxies like this, you know? Like, what are those? Oh, those are Furies. Okay. That's it. What you see is what you get. Get out. We hate what you see is what you get in this house. Be creative. Do the cool thing. Take the guys you think look cooler than the other guys that are basically the same anyway. I care about what your rules are. Just tell me what they are. I bet the guys holding swords, that you think the swords look cooler, I bet they're going to pick axes on the war scroll. Whatever the good rules are. I'm used to playing against the good rules anyway. I figure that's what everyone just does. So no big deal. AoS community based for just letting whatever fly, no matter the table. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in a certain situation, you could detect some bullshit that's happening. And then we would be less cool with it, you know. But you got to get pretty lame with your shit to have an AoS player really give a fuck about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between, I think Raptorixes look cool, and so I'm playing them as Furies, and it's the same fucking thing. Or, this thing came out and it's brand new, so I'm using my old customized version of this other thing that could be about the same thing, or it's whatever. Yeah, all that stuff is like fine. If you put an entire Ironjaws army on the table and then you just say they're slaves to darkness and that's just it, like, okay, you're being a dick, right? But people don't actually do that, so. Anyway, cool army would lose to it 10 out of 10 games. The fancy toy dragons at Michael's got you acting up. I suppose if you had like a Fisher-Price Toys R Us dinosaur and just put it on a base and you're like, this is Seraphon, and you didn't even paint it, I'd be like, okay, can we be adults over here? Look what we have here. Literal beasts of chaos. Soon to be retired. So you got to get as much play out of them as you can. Every time I see a Beast of Chaos army or a Bonesplitters 1, I'm like, I hope you go 5-0. Fuck Games Workshop for what they did to you for no fucking reason. Well, okay, for Bonesplitters maybe there was a reason, but for BOC there really wasn't. Fuck you. Anyway, I hope he went 5-0. Great work. A little bit of a Nurgle stuff, right? Mixed in with this. The awesome looking horse guy. Some Blight Kangs and some Pusgoyle Blight Lords up here. Shaman detected. Bulgors detected. Bestigors. Pestigors are the bestigors. Good work over there. This shit is actually, like, so good, this edition. Your BOC endless spells are really good this edition. It's a shame they're going away. More BOC than Slaanesh was at the event. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Try being fun. Try having fun rules. Yeah, I really like their faction terrain. It's simple, obviously, but I liked it. I like the BOC. I like the big rock. Rend for the Rend God. Thou shalt not let armor saves be rolled. Got some more boys. The Blue Bloods. The Blue Boys. Not quite finished. These are probably what they'll all end up looking like, these two, with the chalky dry brushing over darker blue undertones here. Went with the old school hippie yellow kind of color on these things back before there was an Everwinter. Nice. Went with the chain. I think the harpoon launcher is the better weapon, but this one looks cooler. Although it will snap off at some point and you'll never get it back on. He gave them all the jaws of life, or the jaws of death. That's great. Bunch of spears. And then the gorgas. Really trying to go for a mixed list here. Am I detecting 0 wizards and no terrain feature? What are you, me? Hey, good work. Ogre skin tone reminds you of OG Studio Color Scheme when they first came out in Fantasy. Yeah, weren't they like a gray? Those some dirty beasts of chaos, yeah. Rats and Tins. I didn't get this one, unfortunately. These were last minute painting, right? Like, but they're all brand new, like they just got the new Skaven and just tried to paint it as quick as they could, you know? A lot of clan rats. A lot of clan rats. The big shooter, the lightning cannon, brand new Vizix Scour detected. This guy's sick. Super sick. Triple rat Ojas. These are not clan rats. It might not be obvious, but these are what are they called? Storm vermin. The guardsmen. I played against this army. This was my round. I don't know what round it was. All the rounds bleed together. It was a jam-packed 3 days. But yeah, I played against this one. Vizix was doing work. He cast Death Frenzy basically every turn. Or prayed for, rather. But this is a Regiment of Renown, or an Army of Renown, or something like that. And so, there were no, what do you call it? Gnaw holes or anything. And it seemed to be, I think it was Vizix's personal AOR. And he played like 1 million clan rats. There was a thing in the army, like their main ability, their special ability was, you can denote a unit and give it +1 attacks, but your enemy was at +1 to hit that unit. So you had to make sure you gave it to something that would wipe someone out. And if you didn't, then the swing back, they get +1 to hit. They get free all-out attack. And that proved disastrous against me. Because one of the reasons that I suck is that everything hits on 4s. And against him, everything always hit on 3s. And I was fighting units that didn't have a save if you have Rend 2. So I just killed 60 clan rats. Like, I just killed them all. Just blew them up. And yeah, that was it. Just killed everything. I just killed everything. He killed a lot of stuff too. But I found my war scrolls offensively fixed. They were fixed offensively. Every profile in my army was suddenly 3s and 2s. And I'm like, oh shit. When I'm on 3s and 2s and my opponent doesn't get a save against my attacks, turns out I just blow shit up. Hey, Matt Rose, consider making all my guys just hit on 3s. Good opponent, fun game. Vizix is cool. But that particular ability was really good for me, more so than it was for him, I think. More Sylvaneth. Look at these, nice. Belthanos, the boy, right there. Bunch of scythes, these guys fuck this edition. A bunch of swords, these guys fuck this edition. Got the flute man. This Wyrm is low-key really good. The wizard hunter. Nothing personnel whiz. And some shoot boys. Some other shoot boys. This army is terrifying. 12 Kurnoth hunters are just sprinting across the table and blasting. This shit is sick. Also good colors. I took a second picture of it for some reason. I don't know, maybe the first one wasn't enough in focus. Oh, there we are. I think there were 2 Net Deepkin at the tournament. I think there were 2 IDK, I want to say. Double wave Chad, 1 of each type. Defense eels, offense eels. Some Rivas. And the best endless spell, which is Shackles, of course. IDK is hard to, I would say it's hard to play. Idna Deepkin I would point to as one of the more difficult armies to play well. But you look cool. Maybe hot take, if they took away generic manifestations, it would be fun and fine. I mean, if they took away generic manifestations, 2/3 of armies just wouldn't have any, right? Just, I suppose, kind of a thing. But also, I kind of agree with an adjacent point to what yours could have been, which is, I feel like the generic ones should probably be worse than the army ones. Like, if your army has manifestations and you're not playing them, and you're playing a generic instead, to me that's like shining a bat signal for a designer. Like, something's wrong here. If you're not playing your army's manifestations, then something is wrong. Either the generic ones are too good, or yours are too bad, or both, or something is wrong, I would say. It's like an alarm that goes off. Yo, look at this shit. Alright, this is my round 1 opponent. Looking good. The most classic color scheme ever. I think the snow on the bases really does tie the room together. Because you're going blacks and your golds and your reds. And you do need just some bright color, a nice neutral somewhere. And the white really adds to it. Very nice. Very nice. Ahem. How well did the Nexus do? He put this thing on the table. I can't remember what it did, and it didn't it didn't seem to do much, this thing. He put it on the table, but he like so easily defeated me that he didn't even bother casting the other ones. And once he even forgot to move this. And I'm like, you can just move it. And he's like, no, it's all right. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, because you're winning that hard. And had I said it out loud, he would have said yes, and then we both would have laughed. It wasn't a salty thought. Here's how my Slaves to Darkness matchup went. I took Frost Lords and I charged Slaves units, and then I did no damage, and then they killed my guys. All right. And then, all right, next turn, he charged a thing and just killed it. All right. On my turn, all right, I'm going to take these and choose this battle tactic, and I'm going to enter this combat. And every combat I entered, I failed to kill something or really deal significant points of damage, and then they would swing back and just full to dead a guy. So I was crashing waves against the cliff of stone, essentially. It was sick. Slaves to Darkness is so cool. Good army. Actual Giga Chads. And a fun game. I lost super hard, but it was cool. Giga STD. He didn't even have to play Bellicor or anything like that. He just, this is like the fairest, this is fair and square meat and potatoes Age of Sigmar. He's not cheating on anything, right? A lot of the best armies in the game usually cheat at the game some way, right? Or ignore all the rules. Or play in a way that is so different than what you're supposed to do that you might say that you're not even playing the same game. Slaves to Darkness is just good. And if you're not playing Bellicor, you're like the most meat and potatoes, fair and square army ever. You're just the shit at it. You know, your cav is great, your guys are durable, but also do tons of damage, and they have good reach, and even your casting is kind of good sometimes. You're just John Henry working on the railroad, and all your stats are great. It means that you'll never like be in the top 5 if you're doing it that way, because the people in the top 5 are always like playing armies that kind of cheated the game. But if you want to cheat at the game, you could just play Bellicor, and then Slaves is maybe hanging with the big boys. I'm a fan. Got some OBR here. Some contrasty, but not skimping on the colors. Nice fade. Real magical effect looking. There's Chair Guy down there. Bone Cav. 2 very different looking Bone Cav. I wonder if some of them were done after some other ones. Playing actual Catacross here. Playing Catagross. This is sweet. Miracle in Ice Crown. Got the frozen weapons. Not quite finished yet, but a good base. But a good baseline start for Ice Crown Citadel Ironjaws. Just classic greens. Super bright though. Bright blues. You can hear the organ. Oh, it's mine. I made sure, because I was walking around the tables, I wanted to make sure that I took a picture of mine. And I guess I took a picture of it twice. Yeah, bright colors are nice. They really pop. You like the frost weapons thing. Here's mine. It features half of my old stuff and half of my new stuff. Of course, it's got to have the big hat I have to give a big stupid hat for this guy, and then the altered beast hat for that guy. His giant hookah thing broke, unfortunately. I could have probably used a different dude for this. I think he looks a little weird, but it was too late to do anything else, and it's fine. Also, I went for this cross hatching here, and I think it looks kind of neat. And smashing the terrain feature. I really do have to go back and touch up some of this fur stuff and have the metallics be more than just like straight metallics. But I haven't found the time. I'll find the time one of these days. It's never too late. Speaking of frost, speaking of Miracle on Ice Crown, I want you to look carefully at this Sylvaneth army, okay? Because from here, you're like, oh yeah, Sylvaneth, it's a bunch of Kurnoth, right? Hold on. Hold on. These are all Morghast Kurnoth. Big fucking arms. Reposed up. Lady of Vines with Nagash's backpack skeleton stuff on her. This dude with a skeleton head, no lower half. These are a bunch of bats. And then the frozen books with the Durthu head coming out of it. And the giant Nagash wielding a scythe. Very interesting. Look at the cool shit you can do. Anyway, good work. I can't remember if he's minimum pants or maximum pants, but he's one of the pants. One of the pantses. It looks cool. Same color scheme, I suppose. Or just a lot of blue. Blue's common, I suppose. But these are fun too. Look at the bricks that they're all on. I think that's cool. That it looks like they're on the base that he made. Coolest Sylvaneth army you've seen. It's sweet, isn't it? Some people really like customizing and kit bashing, and some people really like painting. Very rarely do you get someone who's really good at both. Usually you're kind of one or the other. But they're both interesting in their own ways, I think. All the little details on these bases. How nice. Little dots of color, the rose and the carnation there. Looking good. Lady O over here, keeping the theme alive of those that appears sometimes in bases. Nice haunt. Nice haunt. The swampy business. Andrew Tolstead. Oh, I needed a, yeah, unfortunately these are I would have had to get real close to properly show these off, but it's Andrew Tolstead, Andrew Yell's the guy I usually go with to these events. Really good painter, really good converter. Dark Crystal Cruel Boys with super custom shit. Look at this. So sick. Real good at gross fanciful kind of flesh tones and stuff. If you see it in real life, it's really good. Really does a lot of good work with it. Incorporated some Flesh Eater Court into it as well. Yeah. Look at this goofy ass thing. So sick. Wonderful work. Dark Crystal Cruel Boys. And he doesn't like the concept of display boards, and so this is the display board he made while not liking the concept of display boards. Swampy business. I think he won 3rd place for Best Painted, I want to say. The action shot of the... Oh yeah, this was the Nurgle game. This was the Nurgle game. Yeah, they look really good, IRL. My picture really didn't do it justice. I should have taken some closer ones. This was a points game. Score those points every time. I could just barely fit on the sides here. This was the game where this extra protrusion here stopped me from getting my own Seize the Center, which was a rough one, kid. This thing, absolutely never going to capture it. Just can't. The big boy was not about to move. And he did not. Oh, here's an action shot. Absolutely surrounded, big boy rolling in. These two Geminids are... This is like a moments before disaster shot. These two Geminids were about to do 11 damage and kill this guy. Just drop him. Oh, and this was the rat game. About to play against the rats. How the game went. All of these rats ran straight up here and entered combat with all 3 of these at the same time. And then made themselves B+1 to hit, and then I killed them all. And the game lasted longer than that, but every time I fought something, I was +1 to hit, and so I just blew them up. It felt empowering. It was a rough game, but a great opponent. A nice guy. The rats. The absolute rats. Nope. There we go. Lord of the Flies. Mike Butcher. This was the winner. This was the winner of the painting. Every single model is custom. All sorts of custom little details on all of them. Tons of freehand. This here is a Khorne spine. This is his version of a Khorne spine. Of the giant bug-uole insect thing with a head kind of exploding out of it. Super gross. Super really well painted. And tons of conversions everywhere. Yep, it's real good. This thing was hella sick. Oh, I got a closer shot of the grotesque alien from Alien bursting out of the giant worm. I'd like a backstory for it. Nice rust effects down here, great flesh tones. Custom little doodads and funny heads on everything. Oh, I guess I took extra pictures from the winner of it. He had the half fly banner. Exactly half of a fly face. Look at this shit. Alright. First of all, a skeleton version of the Khorne spine on a glittering treasure hoard. But then, check out this Cities of Sigmar army. It's got the bear riding dwarf. The dwarves are riding bears. Dwarven bear cav. Just clean painting. full dwarf business. Give them the hammers. This shit was sick. I love me some bear cav and some dwarf enjoyers in the year of our Lord 2024. Give us new dwarven cities of Sigmar, you coward, as well as elves. Give us some mixed units too. Oh yeah, I zoomed in here so you could see some more of it. Just good, clean fun. Oh, we saw this already. Knights of Bretonia. Yeah, some of these I took just in case I didn't miss out. Oh, here's a display board. Any display board enjoyers in the chat? The mountains of Beasts of Chaos leading up to this. And if you look very closely, you'll notice that every single beast in this Beast of Chaos army is altered to be a sheep instead. Sheeps of Chaos. Every single one is a sheep. Even the Bulgors are sheep gores. The Centaur sheeps. Bestis sheeps. Fluffy out of 10. Going on a sort of a last chance tour here with this BOC. Oh, I got some close-ups of Varangard. Varangard looking fucking clean. Oh yeah, this is the proper amount of Blood Knight's army. I already got this one, but I took 2 pictures of it just in case. Yeah. I got a second Swampy Business. Oh, is this one in better focus? Oh, nice. Yeah, you can see this one a little better. It's in better focus than that other one was. Super good. Very Dark Crystal vibes. And gross, funny little things all over the place. Slime and rust and swamp goop. And the crazy face on these dudes. Extra hair on Master Blaster. Got a even weird little stuff like, oh, he scuffed his knee. Slime time. Yeah, Dark Crystal is a Jim Henson movie from the 80s. Never mind, I'm old. Apologies. Sorry, I'm old. Oh, I played against big display board Khorne man. I played against awesome display board Khorne guy. And as far as Khorne guys with huge, awesome display boards go, and Beastclaw Raider players who run 5 Stonehorns, we are affectionately retarded. And so how it always goes is you're playing Khorne, you love your Khorne guys, I'm playing huge crap. We are going to meet in the middle and just fight for 45 minutes. And whoever wins priority gets a double turn and wins the whole game. And we are both here for it. And so the game started, I got the flanks. He ran like all this shit in a giant castle right in the center. And he's like, all right, let's fucking go. I charged everything. He charged everything. We started fighting in the middle. Whoever wins priority wins the whole game. I won priority, won the whole game. If he won priority, he would have won the whole game. That's Khorne versus Ogres. It's a fucking slap fight in the middle. And it was awesome. Good opponent, too. Nice guy. Is that the same guy that had the Sheep Centaur Bone Splitters from 3rd? Yeah, same guy. Yep. it's sad that that army will get put to rest as BOC ends, but yeah, and then we watched Fist of the North Star, 1989, animated feature-length movie dubbed, and we both cried when Hato died. Oh yeah, this was like the center of the Khorne fight. So these, I charged all 4 of these into 20 Skull Reapers. It took that. I charged essentially my whole army into 20 Skull Reapers, and I killed them all. And that was what happened during the double. If he got priority, he was about to charge 20 Skull Reapers into probably 3 of these, and definitely kill all of them easily. But that's the kind of game we sign up for. And finally, shout out Mark Ramchek for running a great event, as always, and for charity. And it's a Midwest tournament, which means everybody shows up with a lot of cool hobby stuff. There's more hobby awards than there are winning awards. There's a bar on premises and a second bar right across the hall and a third bar down the hall from that bar. And it's for charity. And so that's a Midwest tournament. And finally, Frostlord 23 with the drinking horn. Let's fucking go. Anyway, what a good Dragonfall. What a good time. I went 2 and 3. I got blown up. I managed to win twice. All my opponents were great. And all the armies looked great. It was a good time. Sylvaneth won the whole thing, because they're really good now. This guy right here got the most kill points. He got over 2,000 kill points every round. Because for kill points, you count when they resurrect stuff. And so he got to play against a Sylvaneth army. And so he killed Alariel twice. And the thing she brought back once. And so for a few of those rounds, he managed to get more than 2,000 kill points, which is hilarious. He was on, I believe, Kragnos and some shit from Ogres. Like Kragnos and some shit from Ogres. And just killing everything. It was hilarious. Great work. Hey, all right. I'm going to cut the commercial and we'll get to what did I miss? What did I miss from the reveal? I looked at it on my phone, but it didn't seem like anything. And I tried to go to the website just now, but there was an issue. Let's see what I missed. BRB. Get up, stretch your feet, refill that coffee.
Hello there. I'm Mr.
Cream.
AC Penny. When it fits, you feel it.
Once you pop, the cream don't stop.
If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Deliciously hot, dangerously creamy.
The juice is loose.
She wanted to remember the love they shared for
cream.
Sometimes you feel like a
Stuffed 5 ways.
So my family's looking for beef.
Now, that's what I call
cream, yeah.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough,
and I am the cream.
Then why do we call it big? Because big things go into it.
At the Men's Warehouse.
You got cream.
I guarantee it.
I'm still opening up websites in the background. Have another commercial.
Introducing the best news for ice cream lovers since ice cream began. New Simple Pleasures. It's everything you love about ice cream, but no point. New Simple Pleasures is unbelievably rich, incredibly creamy, and absolutely top. Oh yeah. Because New Simple Pleasures is made with all natural
pure athlete, yeah.
Instead of point. New delicious all natural Simple Pleasures. There's never been an ice cream like it.
Alright, I think we're good. Alright. What do we have here? So this one still doesn't work, but that's fine. Warhammer Day Preview. Conquer the Mortal Realms with the 4 new battle forces this Christomass. Founding Foray. We got some Cities of Sigmar. Battle Force boxes. Is Battle Force Spearhead or no? They keep every single edition, they change the name of all of these things. It's actually very annoying that they do that. We got the cavalry that looks amazing but suck and no one plays. We got this fucking guy who looks awesome. These things whose rules just got fixed and now they're good and cool. And a bunch of footmen. Battle forces are just Christmas discount boxes. Okay, alright. TYVM. Founding Foray. The Carnal Grand Jury, or maybe Charnel. Is it Carnal? Or Charnel? I know Carnal is also a word, so it's probably Charnel. Right? I don't know. Anyway, this one looks kind of nice. More Beheg Knights are good. You got Honkers and Flayers, which I don't know if they're trying to play or not. And then these guys. And then the Grand Juryman. The Rekka Mob. Damn. I thought this was I thought Ironjaws were about to get a spearhead, but I guess not. You know, just fucking boys. That's a lot of Ardboys, actually. A ton of Ardboys, Rekkas and Ragers, and then 1 pig. This might be a decent pickup. Char like grilling. That's what I thought it was, Charnel. Because Carnal is also a word and it's spelled different. The Shudder Blight Seest. Flight of the Valkyries. This guy who looks so sick. Why won't... Oh, man. I look at his war scroll and I become upset. Because his rules are just like... on paper, not good. And then these guys that someday they'll get damaged too. Looking forward to that. And then the... Oh, cool. They refreshed the warband. Neat. Alright, hey, good work. Christmas boxes, fun. Is it worth buying these things? Well, you have to do a little math. First of all, are you going to play with all of it? If so, yes, because then it's a big discount. If you're only going to play with some of it, then, well, depends on how much of it you're going to play with. If you don't know what you're going to play with yet, then I don't know why you're looking at buying 2 $300 boxes of stuff. That's the wrong order. Figure out what you want first, and then go buy it. That's typically how I work. Anyway, Warhammer Day Preview Show 2024. We got these 2 things, which I've already opened in another thing. We got this, which I've opened in another thing. Got some 40k stuff that I don't care about at all. Same with this and this. And then over here, which we just looked at, the Christmas boxes. Hey, alright. Great work. New edition of Warhammer Underworlds brings the battle to Ermagerd. To Ermagerd. Okay, I don't care about that, but I do care about what the models look like. Don't like him. I don't think you should be a stealth assassin that's in, like, full plate. That looks weird. And then there's this fucking guy. Good work. I like him. I like that guy. Big Shooter. Oh, is that it? It's just 3 of them? Okay. I like this guy. Not so much that. And this guy looks like he's on the cover of like a cartoon or something. I'll give it a 1 out of 3. Next up. Oh, look, it's a rat bomb. Funny. Funny rat bomb. And I like the warp grinder three-fingered claw. He looks so happy with his straight eye there. Oh, damn, look at that. Nice triangle work down there. The little dude with the goggles. Warp grinder wheelie wheel. Sweet. Okay, I'm liking the Skaven so far. And then, oh, what, I can't remember what this type of bomb is called. It's from World War I and II. Where they just put shit on a stick and whip. What's the type of bomb? Dude, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a fine callback. I like the Edward Scissor Rats. That's sweet. It's got a proboscis. Alright, the rats are looking good. That's a 2.3 out of 3. Just a stick grenade? Oh, really? It's just... Okay, I thought it had some name. Potato masher? German hand grenade? Oh, potato masher. That might be it. A lot of people are saying that. Molotov? No, that's the one in the bottle with the liquid. Alright, cool. I wonder what their AoS rolls will be like. But, yeah, they're looking good. And nowadays, these, like, squads of random guys are starting to become kind of good in AoS.
Good job, King.
Which is sick. Fing Pat. Thanks for the big tier 2. 48 months? Dude, that's almost 2 years. Thanks a lot. It's my guy. Let's go. Hey, tier 2 is a big tier. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Sebastian Tazar, had fun hanging out with you at Dragonfall. Catch you next year. Thanks for the feedback on my Ironjaws. Oh, sweet. Which ones were yours? Like you can do, I don't know. I could scroll through them. Which ones were yours? Yeah, going to events is just fun. I get to take pictures of everybody's armies and talk to random people about a game we both like, right? So it's just a nice time. Bronze colored with patinas. The 30 boys. Oh, the 30 Hard Boys one, yeah. I simply won't be able to find it. I took 56 pictures and the thumbnails are very small. I can't go back to it probably. Oh no. Well, anyway. Oh, yours were the muted color scheme one that you don't see a lot that I liked. Yeah. I liked that one. Next up, Slaves to Darkness, with really a bad cover, sadly. It's rendered very well, but damn, the model looks cooler. I don't think it's a bad cover, actually. It's fine. It's fine. There are way worse covers. Rendered very well, though. I think they keep missing on these covers. It's gotta not be the troops on the cover. It's gotta be the centerpieces, you know, I think. You wanna capture people with that. Okay, this helmet, dumb. This helmet, I'm in. I like it. Is this the new Chaos Sorcerer Lord? Zarketh, Bane of Lar. Oh, okay. But there's also another brand new Chaos Sorcerer Lord miniature to accompany. Oh, okay. That's probably this guy then. A little funny skull there. Yeah, this guy's sick. The classic Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Big cape. This is the helmet, dude. This one. Very good. The goop here, I'd rather have this one, I think. Anyway, I like it. Half plate on a wizard is an aesthetic that I'm in for. Good work. Yeah, it looks great. And then yet more Dark Oath guys. Don't like them, really? Don't like them. Not for me. Conan the Barbarian look is something that I'm like kind of neutral on in general, but you put him in the army that is already a complete full army package, and then this thing feels stuck on. It just feels like glued onto a complete army already, like an extra thing. I don't know. It's like my complaint with it. It's a spearhead for Dark Oath enjoyers. If you're a Dark Oath enjoyer, you deserve a spearhead. I just think we give one to an entire ass army first, like Ironjaws. But fine. Can't affect the pipeline, right? And then these things which we looked at already. Okay, hey, you know what? If I was gonna miss a Warhammer Day reveal, I guess this was the one to miss. Absolutely zero excitement. Here's a bunch of boxes of stuff you've seen already at a 10% discount, whatever. A single model. Some warband stuff. Yeah, this isn't exactly like Ogres are getting a refresh and here's all the stuff. Here comes Fire Slayers 2, the Magmadroth, and like giant Clockwork Anvil Golem edition, or Aiden Deepkin the Squid edition, or Kharadron Overlords Flying Aircraft Carrier plus Big Daddy from BioShock Suits edition. Like it isn't. It was. I didn't miss any of that, right? I missed a guy and then some stuff. Like whatever. Whatever. Good. Good. Stormcast stuff going up for previews. Another Underworlds warband returning from Legends. Yeah, they started doing that. That's a decent news item. If they're gonna like keep those things around and kind of tell us which ones, then I'm all for it. And it means you're like more likely to feel confident in purchasing them, that it's not like a temporary thing that they're gonna kind of wave off after a little while, or when a season ends or something like that. '80s big-haired dudes reveal. Oh yeah, some of the nice rats too. Stormcoven was the best wizards they made, and they knew it. Kind of like how they're like, it's a unit, and we are cleaning up some of the annoying ones. Yeah, that's fine. That's a-okay. Is there any other news? Let me check real quick. Any other news that I'm missing? New battle tomes for the new edition. Yeah, Skaven Stormcast, which we already saw. Okay, yeah, that's about it. And the new Stormcast Priest got some rules. Is my screen black? Why is my screen blank? All right, how about that? There we go. Featured news. Is this it? The God King's Champions rebuild. With all the Skaven running around Mortal Realms, Stormcast Eternals need some reinforcement. Could this be the video? Headphone users, I don't know how high the volume is.
Hope has turned to ruin as the Skaven proved too strong for the noble Stormcast Eternals. Hellcrown may have fallen, but Sigmar's mighty warriors will soon...
I watched this in August. Why is this on the front page? I watched that on August 24th. What are you guys doing? Festive boxes. Spearhead battle reports. Is this it? Iridian the Witness? This is the one? Thought you were setting up for a HeyWoah news transition. I gotta keep you on your toes. Sometimes it's a real mistake. Illidan the Witness brings the power of the bleak raven to the Stormcast Eternals. Sigmar is unleashed through Ruination Chambers. To combat this Skaven threat as billions of rat men swarm across the mortal realms. With their souls and memories scoured by countless reforgings, these veteran Stormcast Eternals are his ultimate weapons. And each warrior's forgotten tragedy is shouldered by a new chamber of the taciturn figure called Illidan the Witness. The guy looks sweet. Nice axe, very well done, good smokestack. Executioner hood on the bird, funny. Although they have hoods like this for your hawks and stuff, but I don't think they have eye holes. Well, whatever, looks cool. Reclusian chamber, kind of nice. Oh no! So I bet you're wondering how I got myself in this situation here. Well, I decided to be chaff. A former Azerite scholar with an unnaturally strong memory, Iridan was both blessed and cursed upon reforging with eidetic recollection. This once empowered them as Lord Celestant, but the associated cost of remembering their fellow warriors as they had been during their prime always weighed heavily upon Iridan. No longer able to watch lifelong friends suffer and beseech the gods for aid, it was the death god Morda, the death god Murda, who finally answered them, inviting them on a pilgrimage to a remote and forgotten temple where they met with Morgrief Ariax. Ariax Earthshade, I guess. Took a sacred flame filled with Morda's essence and bore witness to mysterious visions. Iridan learned that only through a final ultimate death could their comrades be free of the endless cycle of suffering. With the God King's blessing, they became a compassionate arbiter. They created the Ruination Chambers along with Ionis Cryptborn, founded the Memorian Order to aid in their grizzled allies, and personally assumed a grim responsibility, remembering the heroic histories of every Stormcast Eternal to succumb to the curse. In battle, wield the axe of the final threshold from atop the Ascidian form of Agrax with both fury and compassion. Their prayer of the witness is whispered to the bleak raven, healing Ruination Chamber warriors after they have entered the thick of combat. It was a 4. Prayer of the Witness. For the rest of the turn, each time a friendly Ruination Chamber that uses a fight ability, wholly within 18, heal D3. If the chanting roll was 8, heal 3. And they get a 6 aboard for the rest of the turn. Sick. Alright. Read text? Does this like read it out loud to me? Oh, okay. It converts it to an equally legible form. Oh, I was hoping I would click it and like a Games Workshop text to speech with a British accent was gonna like read it. That would have been hype. Anyway. Yeah, witness me. This is kind of good. 6 up board for the rest of the turn. Although it is after they fight, right? So, well, you can use it on your opponent's turn, I suppose, but you're always going to get hit by something. Only heroes, is it? Aren't there Ruination Chamber units that aren't heroes? I don't know. As far as prayers go, this is, yeah. If it gave you the 6 up ward right away, I would change my tune. But you have to like actually fight first, which means even on your turn, you're going to get it on the first guy you attack with, and then they're going to target somebody else, right? And on the opponent's turn, they're always going to be able to get you before it triggers on your second, right? So this is awkward. Oh, you're applying the brand new. Okay. Ariax conveys Iridan from one hotspot to another. Their dark flight. Dark flight. Signaled by the slaughter to some unlucky foe before the great Morgrief. I like how it's like, oh, it's a big griff. What do we call a big griff, right? Because you have griffed hounds, right? And you have griff chargers. So if you have a griff hound, it's like a tiny griff dog, and then griff chargers, it's like a chocobo. What's a big griff? It's like a griff, but more. I got it. More griff. Perfect. Iridan Stormblade. Yeah, there you go. Once per turn army, end of any turn. Enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. If the roll exceeds the target's health characteristic, one model in the target unit is just slain, and this unit can immediately use retreat without any mortal damage. Oh, so it's basically power through. Instead of D3 damage power through, it's one model is slain power through. So depending on who you're fighting, it's better or worse than power through. If you're fighting one wound models, it's like a worse power through. If you're fighting chosen or like brutes or fucking... It's just any enemy unit, right? Yeah, but I guess you have to exceed the health characteristic, but still. It's like a Mournfang with 6 wounds or some shit. Just slain. Get out of here. It's also free too, right? You do have to roll a die. Well, I feel like it's just like too close to power through for me. I suppose that's the trick, right? It doesn't cost a command point, so you have to roll a die. Like, that makes sense. But it feels like a side grade to it. I suppose this means that you can power through with one thing, and then Dark Flight with another thing, and you can kind of double up on it. Or I suppose you could do both with the same thing. Since this isn't technically a command, you can use both of them, right? First you power through and stay in combat, and then you Dark Flight, and then retreat. Okay. The more I talk about it, the more I kind of like it. It's still kind of just alright. You have to have not killed something for this to even begin to do something, which is kind of weird. HeyWoah, have you been to any tournaments lately? Good meme. In the tournament recap video from the tournament I just got home from yesterday. Good meme. The hallowed presence of Ruination Chamber units, tragic but venerable warriors with multiple lifetimes of combat experience, is shared with nearby warrior chamber units, granting a 6-up award. Big. Warriors from the bleak citadels rely on accompanying heroes to help them temper the flaw, coming back from the brink of death as if they were guided, or becoming tormented if they stray too far from the warrior's light. Okay. What is this? Army of Renown. I fucking hate Armies of Renown. Don't like them. Alright, so you gotta play with non-hero warrior chamber units and then also Ruination chamber units. So you kind of go halvesies. Hallowed Presence. While a friendly warrior chamber unit is wholly within 12 of a Ruination chamber unit, the warrior chamber units have 6 support, okay? Once per turn army, end of any turn. You must use this ability at the end. You must use this ability at the end of each turn. Not a may. Each friendly non-hero Ruination chamber unit uses to fight. For each target, pick one of the following. Guided. If the target is wholly within 12 of any friendly Ruination chamber heroes, return 1 slain model. So this works, so this is Ruination to Ruination, and this is Ruination to Warrior. If the target is not wholly within 12 of Ruination chamber heroes, becomes tormented. While the unit is tormented, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of its melee weapons, but it cannot contest objectives or use commands. Oof. Okay. They get the, accessing a Corvine Praelar. They can summon a murderous flock. And grant allies Raven's Flight, okay. Pick friendly Ruination Chamber, Brotherhood Priest. Has to be a Ruination Priest, huh? Visible enemy 12, don't like that. Roll die for each model in the unit, 5 up, 1 mortal. If it was 10 up, inflict 1 on each 4 up instead. Okay, so if you juice it, it's kind of nice. Visible friendly unit, 12. Add 2 to move, nice. If it was 8, you can run and charge. Big, okay. It'll be available in pre-order on Saturday. Big. Okay, so looks sick. I don't like Armies of Renown. Prayer does not inspire joy. Dark Flight. The longer I talked to myself and chat about Dark Flight, the more I think it's alright. I guess. The type of army that wants to play exactly half of one thing and half of another and keep them next to each other, that's generally like a bad thing. It's generally just like a weak army strat, unless the bonus you get is overpowered, and I don't think it is. This thing is like role-playing wise interesting, I guess. The Tormented versus Guided. I think Can't Contest is possibly too damaging. Like it's too bad of a downside even for +1 attacks. Murderous Fuck. If overcharged is good against spam. And this thing, Raven's Flight, is sick. Like Raven's Flight is just good. You only need an 8-up to overcharge it. But it's an AOR, and I don't think you can play long strikes in it, which are one of the things keeping Stormcast even remotely relevant. So you would have to get insano shit to like be cool with not playing those, right? Okay. On paper, it doesn't look great. Don't think it'll be played. Could be wrong. It's interesting because they seem to lose Stormcast Deep Strike. Yeah, I think that's how Armies of Renown are. You trade normal battle traits for just different ones, which I'm like mad about. If you had time to give these armies an extra 3 little armies worth of stuff, why didn't you just spend that time making the index good with a bunch of options and stuff? Fuck you. No offense. I don't like this. Anyway, great work. Hey, all right. Nice. All right, chat. On that high note, we'll end it here. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk about how cool Dragonfall was. That being said, I've left the house one too many times this past week, which was once. And so the next time I'll be out, I think the next tournament thing I go to will be Adepticon. It'll be a very different world by the time we get to Adepticon, but I probably won't bring a meme list. I'm lying. I'll bring less of a meme list, probably. You know? Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the subs and the bits and the primes. Lots of subs, especially right away. Appreciate the subs. Big. That's gonna reimburse me for tournament entry and hotel room and stuff. I appreciate it. TY. I gotta check my calendar. I have to leave the house once again for a big job. It might be this weekend. It might be that soon. I will keep you posted in Discord. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Peace.